Hello, hello.
What's going on, Nyatu?
It's good, Troy. Happy Sunday.
All right, guys, it wouldn't be live stream if there wasn't some sort of a glitch. I'm frantically, you can hear me probably clicking, trying to get this thing set up. But I am super excited to be back, you guys. I love Sundays. I love checking in with all of you guys and seeing what's going on. All right, I see you guys watching on here. You know the drill. Drop your city and state so I can shout you out and see where you are watching from. And I know that there is football going on right now. So those of you who are diehards and joining me anyway, I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, I appreciate you so much. Let's see. All right, let me get adjusted here. I always have to settle in here. All right, make sure that you please hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel. That way you can be notified every time videos drop. I drop videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays and of course Sundays on my live stream. It's just easier if you hit the notification bell because you will be alerted by your phone that I am going live. So go ahead and do that. And if you know anybody who will benefit from watching today's video, it is not too late to share this video now on your social media platforms or by text. You guys, we are getting into why 75% of women struggle to climax during intercourse, okay? We're talking about the regular way, not oral, okay? Not through toys, just the regular old intercourse. So share that. You do not want to have your friends miss this. They're going to wish that they could be live while the experts are here to answer their questions. The second half of the program, we're going to be talking to men who are unafraid to talk exactly about what men really, really want. Whether it's politically correct or not, we are going to get into all that. All right, guys? So take a moment right now, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. You have time where everyone's getting settled in. And if you guys have not checked out my Sunshine Club, make sure you click the link in the description and get more information. I will talk about that at the end of the program. So go ahead and check it out. And of course, I have to give love to my patrons. You guys are my day ones, my diehards. I so appreciate you guys for the support that you guys give me. And this would not be possible without them. All right, guys, so we're going to get into tonight. Tonight is a little bit different because I have experts on my panel. They're waiting patiently in the green room for me to introduce them officially. But before I bring them on camera, I want to introduce you guys to them with their accolades, okay? Oh, we got a Miami, Florida. What's up, Florida? And we have, North Carolina. Okay, one of my speakers. I didn't even know he was from North Carolina. So awesome. I like the representation all across the states. All right, so we're going to start with the lady on the panel. We have Charelle Thomas, and you can see her picture here. You can see where to follow her. She's a certified love and intimacy coach. She's also a manifestation coach. Then we have Nyatu Marvell, which is AKA Hitch. You can call him if you have trouble with Nyatu. Then you see his social media there. He's a dating and relationship consultant, premarital and marriage couples counselor, and an author. We have another author, Troy Spry. He is the CEO of Exclusive Thoughts. He's a certified life and relationship coach, a blogger, author, and speaker. And finally, we have Blair Nash. You can also see his social media information there. He is also an author. He's a dating coach and matchmaker. God bless his soul. I could not do that. So God bless him for that. All right, so you guys want to see? These are my panelists. Hi, guys. You are live on camera right now. Hey.
What's going on?
Hey, Yasi.
Hey, and I have a friend who joined me today. We have Ron in the house. Hey, Ron.
How y'all doing today?
Oh, okay, Base. All right. Turn this fan on for me and Charelle. Okay. I'm super excited. As you guys know, every single week I have my friends. I let them know I'm coming on, and I invite whichever brave souls want to join us. And Ron had the cojones to come on. I was going to say something else, but I want to keep it PG. All right, so super excited. You guys, I have a group on Facebook. It's just my friends, and we talk about things. And Ron had some awesome things to say. And so I pretty much held a gun to his head and said, you're going to be on my show on Sunday. So really glad that you are willing to be here, especially considering the sports that are happening right now. Dang, Troy, I wish I had my beverage. So anyway, all right, guys, we are going to get right into this. The first thing that I want to get into, each week we just go over the hot topics. One of the things I'm super excited about is a show that's coming on Netflix starting tomorrow called American Skin. Have any of you guys heard about that? Oh my God. Okay, set your reminders because that looks really, really good. It's really getting into like the police force and the injustices that are happening, but the tables are turned. I don't like to give a lot of information, but that is one we definitely want to support and represent. I don't have any connection with the film, but it is on my calendar because it looks like it's really good. So nothing else super interesting was happening this week. Last week we talked about storming the Capitol, but that's old news now. So I guess it's just the inauguration. But I did want to discuss that and shout out because, you know, anything that we're doing, I like to support. All right, the next thing I like to do is ask a pop question to kind of warm things up. And actually, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity really quickly to get into what you guys want to plug before I ask your pop question. And I forgot, you guys always have my little cool little graphics. So let me, as you guys are talking, I'm going to show your books and your workbooks that you have. So I'm going to go in order of who is on the little graphic here. Charelle, can you tell everybody hello?
Hi, hello everyone, beautiful people.
All right, so let them know about the workbook that you have available. While you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and show it on the screen so they could see.
Okay, so I have a workbook / ebook that's all about owning your O, owning your orgasm, and it's basically focusing on 5 secrets to helping you manifest better orgasms. And for those of you who have not had them, actually manifesting orgasms.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have next. Sorry, guys, I'm over here trying to frantically switch my little screens and be cute over here. So pardon my little delay. It's not my internet, it's my brain. And Nyatu, I'm gonna have you go next and talk about your book here. Let me get back here. All right, got it on the screen.
Awesome. So the title of the book is Why He Married Her and Played Me, 9 Secrets to What Men Are Thinking. A publisher approached 8 other gentlemen and myself about each contributing a chapter to this book. And this book is about bridging the gap. It's not about telling women what's wrong with them. My chapter that I was assigned happened to be sexual compatibility. And so I turned to the topic of sexual energy and orgasms as well. So I'm looking forward to the conversation. And so you can purchase the book on Amazon, and or if you want an autographed, personalized copy, you can go to any of my social media, Nyatu Marvelous Hitch, and get the link to my website, thehitchagency.com, to be able to purchase the book.
Perfect. And I'll make sure I get all the information from you guys to put it in the description so people can click on that. Okay, Troy, you are up next. Troy, I have your book on camera. You want to introduce it for us?
Absolutely. First of all, these orgasms, I mean, we got some good topics going tonight. I mean, we was talking about orgasms all night. I can dig it. So no, I'm glad you decided to plug the book, but the book is called Teaching Me How to Love Why What You Don't Know Will Hurt You. And I always tell people this is not a how-to book. This is a change your mindset book, and I want everybody to go get it.
Awesome. I like that. Nice and concise. All right, Mr. Nash, you are last up, but not least, certainly. All right, let me get yours up on the screen here. All right, I need to manifest.
And kind of like Troy said, I'm like this whole idea and conversation about orgasms is I'm like, I didn't expect it to go quite there immediately. So I'm like, maybe I need to write some in my next book about that. I have 3 books actually. The first one is Illuminating the Battlefield. The next one is Love is a Beautiful Thing Till It Ain't. And my final book is Black Money. I'm having a brain freeze.
Yeah, the Black Money.
The hidden conversation, Black money, sex, and relationships. And obviously, it's about dating. It's about relationships. Two of the things that we talk about ad nauseum on social media. It's kind of it's written from a man's point of view, and that's it. I don't want to go into any more. That's it.
Awesome. Now, look, I believe in sharing the love because, we're on here and I believe in, what is it? The sum of the whole is greater than the whole is greater than some of the parts. However the quote is, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So,
Yep.
I told you guys beforehand, feel free to plug away any projects you have going on because I am truly honored that you guys are here on a weekend to spend time and talk with me on my channel. So please do not hesitate. Plug. You can sell chocolates for all I care out of the trunk of your car. Whatever you want to do is fine with me. All right, so we're going to get into the pop question now that we're warmed up a little bit, especially Mr. Troy, who has something a little heavier than my water I'm drinking. I get too silly when I drink, so I cannot have anything adult on.
Yeah, I got water. I got water too. So I just balance it out. You do both.
I like that. Look, this is a fun show. Okay, I want us to get into it. So we're gonna go into pop question. Are you more so traditional when it comes to relationships, or do you fall on the modern side of things? I'm going to switch it up and start with Ron, and then move to Nyatu. Then I'm going to go to Charelle, then Troy, and then Blair. Okay?
Well, I think I'm more, to be honest, I'm a mixture of both. While I am a big teddy bear and, I guess you want to say, type dude, ex-military officer, went and ran with the Bulls in Spain, you name it. I've done a lot of different stuff. And I love protection. I love provision. I love all that good stuff, but I also love the mind and ambitions of women also. So I encourage that stuff. I'll be the biggest cheerleader. But so I guess my answer is I'm a little bit of both. So I'm traditional in some aspects and I'm modern in others.
Okay, a little hybrid action going on. Not too bad. Okay. Who did I say? Yeah. Next, Nyatu, I think.
Yes. So I believe in customization. So I believe that may make me modern, though there are some traditional values that I think are the foundation of healthy, happy relationships. I believe everybody needs to customize their relationship and not try to fit into some cookie cutter tradition.
Okay. All right, Charelle.
I love it. I think I'm a combination of all of the above, everything that they mentioned. So I feel like I have the tradition, I'm very submissive when it comes down to my partner, but I also know how to own my own, I know how to carry that weight. And then I also believe in, as Nyatu says, like customizing the relationship, like what works for us, because it may not work with my next partner or the previous partner, but what works for us.
Okay.
So I'm all of the above.
Got you. And Troy?
Yes, I would call myself modern with a little tab of traditionalism. What I would say is this. I believe in utilizing each other's strengths and maximizing each other's strengths in partnership. That's what I believe in doing. But I also believe in masculinity and femininity as well. I think those are two natural, powerful things that go really well in relationships. So we just tailor each other's strengths and weaknesses to create real partnership.
Okay. And then last but certainly not least, Mr. Nash. Blair?
Thank you. I would probably say that I lean more toward traditional with maybe a splash of modern. I think, part of the issue and part of the problem that we have is we need to kind of go back and look at and get the good from what we learned from our parents, our forefathers, our ancestors, and kind of make it more modern. But I'm definitely a traditional person. My philosophies, my beliefs, and my actions. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Now, I have a question for you guys. This is my first time having, the separate camera. Is it easier for you guys if you have this view as well? Does it make it more natural communicating this way? Okay, I figured as much.
Yes, absolutely.
So YouTubers, all right, you're just going to be stuck with two camera angles. I cannot stand using my other one for the big one. So we just go with the flow. And I like the symmetry, too, of having the 6 in a row. So they know about my OCD, my people. So... All right, because I'm over here nodding and stuff. I'm like, they probably can't even see anything. So, all right, so we have warmed up the room, hopefully enough, because we are going to get into it. All right, girl, you ready? Because this is where you gonna shine right now, ma'am. You don't even know. Now, guys, she's the expert, obviously, but feel free to chime in if there's anything on your spirit that you want to share. This is something that, I uncovered a couple years back in the group. And when I did a survey, the numbers fell in line with this. 75% of women struggle to have an orgasm the quote unquote natural way. And I don't mean natural with judgment, meaning just the very traditional man and woman together at the same time, as opposed to oral or using toys, things like that. So I'm going to just kind of hand it over to you a little bit and let you kind of get into the conversation, and then I'll take it from there if you're comfortable with that.
Yep. So just to share like my perspective from the research that I've done, it's actually 75% of women are, they haven't had an orgasm, period.
Oh.
Not just through penetration. Right. Only 18% of women can climax from penetration. So 75% of women, they don't even have an orgasm.
Can we have a moment of silence? I'm sorry, but we just... Woo, my heart just went out to these
into
people.
The universe. That's tragic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I'm sorry, you just really took me back on that. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a heart for people who have, inabilities, but that you should have special like percentages off at restaurants if you're a card carrying member. Like, I've never had an O. I'm just saying, like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me get back to the character. Okay.
Yeah. So it's very shocking, and I feel like that's why I do the work that I do, because I'm very passionate about love, about sex, about relationships, especially like when it comes down to sex. I feel like so many people have it on a regular basis, but they don't enjoy it. And especially women. A lot of women actually come in and they have sex to bring in a man, not really because they want to. And once they get that man, sex goes out the window.
That would explain so much why it changes.
Yeah. But I say, like, you asked the question of why do so many women struggle with not having an orgasm? And my question, blanket question, this is my opinion, is just because they don't want to. Like, period.
Wow.
They don't want to, especially in the Black culture. We're not taught. This is not an open dialogue. And not only in the Black culture, period. Parents don't talk to their kids about sex. So it's like when they go out there, they're learning on their own. They're trying to figure it out on their own. And they're just going with the flow, especially with society. Like, the way it's conditioned, sex is the easiest thing to come by. But a lot of people are having it just to have it, not for the pleasure. I know one of my clients that I worked with about maybe a year ago, she had been married for 24 years, had 4 kids, never had an orgasm. I was like, how? Like, you have like 4 kids. You're married. You wake up with it at like every day.
Right.
How do you not? And then there's this whole understanding when it comes down to self-pleasure. Like, it's a taboo. Like, no, I can't do it. I feel insecure. But it's like, how do you expect somebody to please your body if you can't even please your own self? If you don't know the dynamics of your body, like, why give that power to somebody else? And like, that's what I love doing, is teaching women how to own their own, like, own it.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility. Don't put it off on somebody else.
And
I tell people,
I'm sorry. I want to jump in because you covered a couple things that we said last week. We had the whole debate last week on whose responsibility is the O. Is it the woman's or the man's? And a lot of women were like, hello, it's his, because I can pleasure myself and I know what to do. So I'm glad you touched upon that. But the other thing is that psychologically, and this is where I closed out last time with my closing thought, which was really think about why you're having sex. So many guys have sex at a young age, not necessarily because they're super horny, but because they feel like they're supposed to. They might not even personally feel ready, or or focus on something else, but because they don't want to be that guy left out, or when everyone's asking and talking about it, they don't want to be the one that's like, no, I'm still a virgin. But so many people are having sex that don't need to be. And I think that, a lot of times people, because I don't hide the fact that I'm a believer. So a lot of people think it's my faith in God that I really talk to people about putting off sex. And it's not about that, because I don't think that everybody believes the way I do. I can, there's a time and a place to talk about my faith. My thing is, it's a practical thing. Like you are out here having sex with people and you don't want to do it. And I want to, where I cut you off, I really want you to keep going, which is a lot of women do it because they want the acceptance of the man, or they think that that's the segue into obtaining that relationship, but they really don't want to have sex with him, or they don't want to have sex yet, which is why they're not comfortable. Okay, so I had to get that off my chest.
No, that's good. That's good stuff. And also to piggyback off of what you said, like a lot of women who are like having sex a lot, typically it's women who've experienced sexual trauma in the past. And it's not even, you know, like how you say practical, the reason why you should have sex, like the way it is designed to be. It's more so, I have this, I experienced this trauma, I experienced this tragedy, and I don't know what to do with it. So I'll just keep sharing my body with different men, thinking that somehow that'll cause this pain to go away.
It's men too. I did a poll in the group and asked, for those of you wondering, it's about 2,600 people. I did a poll and so many men, these are just the ones that were comfortable coming forward, admitted to their first experiences being not by choice. And they were female predators. We're not talking about uncles coming in and touching little boys. These are women in the neighborhood, mom's friends, older cousins. And a lot of them had their teachers had their virginity taken away. And I've seen a correlation with the ones that I've talked to one-on-one that, see, there you go. And there's a correlation between guys who have an over obsession with sex and also sometimes the people who have to keep taking it to another high. It's like an addiction. Yeah. I'm not saying you and Nyatu, but I'm saying there's a correlation where it's like it's not enough. It has to get freakier. It has to get whatever. Like they're not just satisfied by just sex anymore. There's a huge correlation. So anywho, I'm a church fan.
I know, right? Me too. I'm high.
Way too
I love to chime in. I love to chime in on the subject.
Jump in anytime.
So ironically, you know, Charelle made a great point that 75% of women don't experience an orgasm in intercourse, and 75% of Black women have experienced some sort of sexual trauma. Like the statistics match up, you know, evenly. I definitely agree that it is both people's responsibility. If a woman doesn't know how to make herself come, then that is definitely an issue. But unfortunately, you have a high percentage of men and women who just haven't taken the time to learn about not only their own bodies, but the bodies of the opposite sex. Maybe people think they're too macho, or they just assume that they know because they watched a movie or heard a song, or one person gave them some tips and some advice, and now they think that they know what they're doing. But most people really haven't taken the time in general to learn about the bodies of the opposite sex, and then definitely not specifically the people that they're having sex with. And so I did a poll last year asking people, why they have sex as well. And the the answers were just unreal. And so what I've learned...
I'm sorry, but do you remember some of the things that they said? Just a few of us. I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah, me too.
Just make their partner leave them alone, to get stuff.
Boredom, maybe?
Because it's their duty, boredom, control. The answers varied. I found some sheet on the internet where it gave a bunch of sample answers as well. So people were picking from and coming up with their own. But ultimately, I've learned that what creates a great sexual experience is when you feel great before, during, and after the sexual experience. You're most likely to have an orgasm when you have that scenario going on. And a lot of people have just forgotten the art. They're just doing it. And so, in my book, I use the example of the movie Love Jones, that he spit that poem, that spoken word piece up in front of all those women. Every woman in that club felt his sexual energy from the word. And so before he got your name, your number, bought you a drink, talked to you, smiled at you, winked at you, or anything, he put sexual energy out there and began seducing women long before he even began to talk to them.
And what was the name of the book? I didn't catch.
No, that movie is called Love Jones.
No, but the book that... I'm giving you a free plug, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Why he married her and played me. 9 Secrets to What Men Is Thinking. My chapter is about sexual compatibility. So bottom line, you know, if you if the energy and the person feels good about the sexual experience going into it, meaning they feel good about the connection, they feel good about whatever the relationship is, they feel good about how they think you're going to treat them. You know, they're going into it with good energy and good vibes. Yeah. That's the stage for there to be good energy and good vibes during the sexual experience. And so a lot of people haven't tapped into that sexual energy. They don't know themselves sexually. And so they think chemistry is just luck. And I tell people all the time, no, somebody decided that it was going to be chemistry. It wasn't just luck. Somebody's in control of their sexual energy, and they decided to let you take part in that. And sometimes it's both, but it's never just by chance. Somebody attracted that and somebody put that out there. And then bottom line, afterwards, if you're have anxiety about what's going to happen after the sex is over, that's going to interfere with your ability to orgasm as well. You're sleeping with some ex you know you shouldn't be sleeping with. You're sleeping with some dude or a woman who has abused you, mistreated you, took your money, spent your tax return, whatever. You know, these things on your mind even during the sexual experience and preventing you from being able to maximize the situation. But I think if you're having sex, you should be orgasming. You should be trying to not only orgasm, but maximize that orgasm. And so, you know, there are men who, when women hear them speak about business and their goals and just who they are as a man, it makes them orgasm. There are women who are orgasm 3 or 4 times after the sexual experience is over. An hour later, 2 hours later, they're wetting their panties. And so that's out there for people. If they desire, they're just gonna have to change what they're doing.
Some people, it's just when a man has a deep voice, you know, just
absolutely.
So if I could jump in there real quick. Yeah. So one thing I want to add to the conversation is like, so for me, the number one complaint I hear from men that are married is lack of sex, right? Mm-hmm. So lack of sex, but it's not just lack of sex; it's lack of initiation of sex, then frequency of sex, and then spontaneity of sex,
and the passion
right?
Of it probably too.
Exactly, yeah. But when you think about it, that goes hand in hand with the fact that if it's not enjoyable for both parties, there's going to be a disconnect there, right? But I think everything is so important. Like what Charelle said was, a lot of women out there don't even know how to make themselves happy, and so the onus becomes on the man. And he's sitting there, he's thinking he's doing a good job because a lot of women we know will fake it. Will act like they're having a good time. And so we are creatures of feedback, right? So, I'm hitting it this way, she moaning, okay, cool. You know, she faking. Right. So, I mean, even though your body will speak to you, so a lot of men know it'd be faking, but we'd be like, you know, I just want to get this done too. You see what I mean? So I guess my point is, I want people to have enjoyable sexual experiences. And if they don't educate themselves, I mean, I know grown men who don't even know what a clitoris is, right? And so that's the thing is like, but you have to study these things. It's not, let me think about it. Even in sexual education, you're taught to not do it. I mean, essentially that's what you're taught to not.
Reproductive organs.
Yeah, you don't know what they do and how to stimulate them, but I think that's a big part of it. And a huge part of this is this idea of mystery, right? And I think a lot of people don't have any mystery, especially in long-term relationships. So they are just doing the act. Yeah. And if you continue to just do the act and it's not enjoyable, it's enjoyable for like the first couple times because it's new. Yes. But the question becomes, how do you make it new when it's not new? Yes. And that's a really hard thing for marriages and relationships.
I want to say this. So 2 things. One of the issues, you know, that I say just practically, if you're hooking up with people and you're just, you know, you see someone hot, you don't really, you know, you're not looking at a relationship with them, even though he has a boy part and you have a girl part and they go together, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be sexually compatible. And the thing is that, okay, you're doing all this, you know, having this big moment, but you might not even be pleased. I think it's a fictional fantasy to think that you're going to hook up with someone on the first time, never interact with them, barely even kiss them before, and you're going to suddenly know each other's bodies, and it's just going to boom, boom, boom. Like, that's on the freaking movies, you know?
Yes.
And so there are a lot of kids who watch my channel. So, you know, for the teenagers, like, we're going to be real and talk about the stuff maybe your parents don't talk about. So these fantasies that the media sells us that, oh, as long as you have your guy part and she is a girl part, you're Gucci. No, sir, no, ma'am. That's not how it works. And the thing is, there's this book, and I just moved my bookshelf, so I can't grab it now. I just reorganized how my layout was. But there's a book that says 500 questions. Don't you dare get married until you ask these questions. And each chapter,
love that book.
Oh my God, right? Each chapter is broken down by like finances, your past, your family, and one is on sex, intimacy, and romance. And I absolutely love this. So if I date a guy and we're serious, I will go through that book. It just gives us stuff to talk about besides what's your favorite ice cream, what's the last movie you watched, or whatever. And there was a part in there that said, when you're in bed, do you like talking? Like, do you think it's hot or do you not like it? And I was dying because somebody said, it was some commentary, they're like, it sounds like a sports announcer, you know, and then he goes in here and then da-da-da-da. Like in their mind, it's like a negative thing. Somebody else might think it's the sexiest thing, like, oh baby, whose is it? It's yours, Tiari, you know, whatever. Like it's harder, in my opinion, to have those conversations after, because imagine if you're talking your head off and you think you're being sexy as the lady and you're doing all this stuff, and then you have the conversation, he's like, yeah, I hated it. As opposed to, you could have the conversations before you jump to sex, and you're like, okay, note to self, keep, you know, reeling in, don't talk too much. Because people are jumping in bed prematurely before they're getting to know the person as a person, let alone their bodies, these are conversations that will make things more pleasurable. Like, I know for me, a lot of people love their, you know, being licked and having their ears, and I don't like that. Like, I don't like the feeling of saliva. It reminds me of like a dog, like licking. I don't like, if it's like a snail trail. Like, if I feel like after you're done, I can feel your saliva. I don't like that.
It's a turnoff.
It's such a turnoff. But other people are like, bring it on. Like, I love all that, you know? But I think that if you talk about it, it makes for less awkward situations in the moment, because, you know, yeah, the guy said last week, you could say in a way, you know, how to tell the person what they're not doing, but no one really wants to be told in the moment, even if it's like passively, like, that ain't it, you know? So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot by not having those conversations. And I think that it doesn't have to be boring. Like, it doesn't have to be this classroom, step one, this is what I like. It could be fun, have a glass of wine. And also with women, the more you talk about it and don't do it, girl, tell me if I'm wrong, but don't let us not have it and we keep talking about it. It's like, when it's time to go, she'll be primed, seasoned, and ready. So anyway.
Off of what you're saying, I say all the time that, like, my sexual attraction to a man is based upon how he make me feel emotionally. So it just go back to that. And then, like, for me, people are shocked all the time. I don't have a large body count, but like, I've never had a bad sexual experience, period. And people are like what? No, I haven't. But that's because I have the conversation beforehand. I'm not afraid to talk about sex. I'm not afraid to put it out there, like what I like. And then, like, I pick up on cues. I feel like my mom started talking to me when I was 10, I believe. Yeah, I was 10 when we had our first sex talk. And ever since then, like, she just kept prepping me and feeding me information. So now, like, when it came down to me actually experiencing sex, I knew what signs to listen out for. I knew what clues to look for. And it's still to this day, like, things that I utilize to make sure that they're capable of meeting me where I am. And because I take care of my own energy, I tell people all the time, you blow on me the right way, I'm coming. So it's just like, I own it.
They don't wait for us to climax. Like, if
Exactly.
I want to shout out Ebony. Ebony says she didn't have her first O until last year, and she is 41. Golf clap for her.
Wow. Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm glad she
made it.
And I'm consistent now.
Never would have made it.
Not the gospel song.
He said the marriage bill is undefiled, so hopefully it's with her husband.
But people also should be
Nancy,
open.
can I ask a quick question?
Oh, sorry. Yes, and then Ron, I heard you speak. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know, because with me being a coach, and I talk to a lot of different women about, you know, their relationship problems, and of course, it always bleeds out. That's
I know. I was like, choice of
yeah.
words.
It always kind of, I was gonna say bleeds over, but it always kind of goes over to how's your sex life, right? And so, a lot of times when I talk to women, they say that, you know, yeah, the sex is okay, it's not great. It's, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I put it at a 4 or 5, right? And I'm going somewhere with this, so humor me. And so, bless you, whoever that was.
Sorry.
And so, Right. And so a lot of times the women will say, well, my ex actually used to do all these, whatever. And he used to do the same thing that my current husband or boyfriend does, but the result is different. So my question to you is, and we're talking about penetration right now, correct? So my question is, do you think the penetration has something to do with the guy? Because I've talked to women, a lot of women who say that, Jamal would do it and it was like, ugh. But then Reggie would do it and I'm up here screaming and doing whatever, doing the same exact thing. So my question to the panel is, do you think it has anything to do with the guy as well as not knowing how to bring yourself to orgasm?
I'm going to leave that to our resident expert here.
Anybody?
I wholeheartedly believe.
Turn the woman more.
Say that again.
I'm saying some men are going to turn a woman on more outside of the bedroom. Like I said, before you can get to the bedroom.
Oh, like your chemistry.
Like, yeah, exactly. She might, or even just admiration, other things about, him turn her on even before he start touching her and things of that nature. So, some people's sexual energy is more powerful than others. So again, they could be doing the exact same thing it looked like on paper or on film, but the energy is way more intense. So, that's a thing too. What type of intensity are you bringing to the bedroom? Are you looking at this like a show? I feel like a performing art. I got to put on a show. Am I trying to, am I being a crowd pleaser with my show, or am I out here and spit into the mic? So it's all about intentionality. Your intentionality determine your intensity. So yeah, I like intense sexual experience. I like intense orgasms for myself. And so yes.
Nyatu, what do you mean by spitting into the mic? What does that mean? What does that mean, bro? Huh?
I'm just saying I want to run the sexual energy up to the height, as high as it could possibly go. I want the sexual energy to shoot up like Tesla stock been doing.
You're not taking the bait, Blair. You're not taking the blame.
But can we talk though about, energy? Think about it. Like, I always think about it like this too. Energy with someone you've been with for a long time that you have real life with is way different than energy with someone you come across occasionally, or you had a toxic relationship where it was like up and down and it was like it's intense moments and then it's intense lows. So I mean, it's like a lot of times we get in these relationships, we compare, reality everyday life with someone to like the fantasy guy, the pool guy. You see what I mean? And they're just two energies you can't really match. Now, you can still have intense moments with your spouse or with your mate, but if you try to compare the two, you're going to lose every time, right? Because the best experiences are the ones you hadn't had with someone in a long time, a lot of times, right? It's like a newness.
The only thing better than something doing great.
That's it. And I think I think that's a huge part of this conversation. Like when what kind of expectations do we set? Especially if you ain't teaching yourself how to pleasure yourself, then you set these unrealistic expectations within your relationship. It's like, I feel like we be setting each other up for like the okie doke a lot of times when it comes to like long-term, type relationships, but you can still have good moments, but I just don't want, and here's the other thing, and I'll stop talking. The shame, right, that comes with sex nowadays, right? There's this whole level of shame. Like, think about it. Back in the day, if you were bad at sex, you probably didn't know. It wasn't on social media. They wasn't talking about how little your penis was. They wasn't talking about, how he didn't make me come or she was whack. So it's like all this shame built around sex too. So it's like something that's supposed to be really enjoyable. Yeah. I think a lot of shame comes to it in the public as well.
And what
give a tip for people testing up in a long-term relationship, if you guys don't mind.
What's that?
I said I had a tip for.
I bet you did.
Testing up in a long-term relationship. Again, I understand sexual energy and how powerful sex is. And so you shouldn't just be talking shit during sex. You actually should be manifesting and using words of affirmation. And so that brings a lot of excitement and intensity to me too, because, if I'm with my future wife, we talking about me impregnating her with our dreams and goals. And when she orgasms, she's basically birthing the manifestation of them. And we putting our spiritual energy together too. And so that may make up for some of the intensity that might be lost from just because you've been with this person so long, as Troy said.
We got Troy sweating over there. I'm not mad.
That's the orgasms and whiskey don't go well, guys.
I'm just saying. And Charelle, I didn't want you to lose your thought. You were talking about why the disconnect for women with different partners. I wanted you to finish.
Well, first, I want to go back to Troy before we move on, but I was married for 13 years and sex was something that was maintained throughout the relationship. But again, I feel like it go back to what's your goal? What's your vision? For me, sex was important to me. So it was, it was a standard that we maintained that within our relationship. The day I turned him down was the day I decided to file for divorce. No lie. But that was something that was important to me. But that chemistry was always there. And I feel like that's something that I own. That's something that I carry. So it's like that's why it's so important for me to get it out there to people. I work with people in long-term relationships who've been years without having sex. Like people who I've worked with women who have never performed oral sex because there's mental blockages and stuff like that. And I feel bad. Like one lady was married for 40 something years and she had never performed oral sex on her husband, but it was something that he desired. But the reason why she didn't is because she experienced childhood trauma. She was molested. So once we dealt with that, he loved it. She loved it. She loved providing that pleasure. But just because you're in a long-term relationship doesn't mean that that's something that you cannot, have. It's just a matter of the same way you have financial goals, the same way you have sexual goals within your relationship. And then going back to the multiple partners question. What was it? I forgot what it was now.
Blair was saying, how is it that one person could do one technique
and
a different person does the same technique?
It goes
I was basically saying that. I was basically saying that a lot of times in my coaching, I talk to women and I'm like, well, why do you keep allowing your ex to be, in your orbit and everything? Like, well, he, there's something about him I feel. And it's like, my guy might do the same exact thing, but my ex does it. And it just, I'm just extremely turned on. And so my question is, do you, there's a lot of other things or a lot of other reasons why people may disengage and why they might, there might be shame and there might be trauma, et cetera, et cetera. But do you think there's also a component there where I don't want to say the emotion, but there's kind of a feeling about a certain person, and before they don't have to bring you flowers, they ain't got to cook you dinner, they ain't got to massage your back, but because you have an attraction and kind of a deeper attraction, and I think he's handsome. I'm talking about that other kind of attraction. We know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Because she has that other kind of attraction for him. What's that?
That je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. He has that other kind of attraction. Because in dating and relationships, I can look at a woman like, oh, she's pretty, she's attractive. And then I can see a woman like, man, listen, right? And she just brings out that animal magnetism in you. And I think that for women especially, certain men bring out an animal magnetism in them that a regular, just an average guy who might be the same size penis, if that's the right word to use, same size penis, same technique, et cetera, will not have the same output and will not have the same ending. So my question to you is, do you think sometimes it's almost like, it's a losing cause because she has, this affinity for her ex and, all the things and all the emotions that are wrapped up into this guy. And so even though I'm doing the same exact thing, I'm not getting the end result that her ex does. That's my question.
It goes back to what I was saying earlier when I said, like, my sexual attraction to you is about how you make me feel emotionally. So they could be doing the same thing physically, but there's a deeper thing when it comes down to women. Like for women, sex starts before you get in the bedroom. It start, up here. It start with how you make me feel. What do you do to my emotions? And that's the chemistry that actually pulls them in. And another thing, which is a big thing to look out for, is a wound mate. If there's this person, you have insecurities, and there's this person who come along who meets those insecurities, you're not ready to let go of those insecurities, but there's this sexual chemistry because of these insecurities, and those two things bring them together. So it's a lot of different components.
You said
that
wound, W-O-U-N-D?
Won't. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
W-O-U-N-D, however you spell it, N-D-S. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking womb at first. You said
Oh,
womb.
I thought you said womb, like
Exactly.
W-O-M-B.
Womb,
Okay,
like an
gotcha.
injury. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like if he so you know how a lot of women, like, they go running back to their ex and they know it's an unhealthy relationship, but that toxicity, that's a turn on for them. I know as sick as it may sound, but it's also this ego part as well that influences that. Like, will I be able to get him this time? He hurt me. I never got him in the past, but can I use this sexual encounter to get him? It's like a trick, where they're constantly striving to try to get something that's just not there. And it won't be until they heal that part emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and when they can actually close off that connection and, feel whole and be able to experience that same enjoyment with their current partner.
As people who are in the dating relationship sphere, I'm sure each and every one of us have dealt with someone like that. We talk to some woman who you're like, why do you keep going back to that guy? What is it? And it's just like, I know. And a week later, they'll be back with him. Then you're like, I broke up with him. Then a month later, they're back with him. And it's just like this magnetic pull that some guys have to women.
Yeah.
Well, magnetism.
Yeah. And I think also there's a lot, there's a lot to unpack psychologically, but there's fear of rejection, so many subconscious things. I want to get to this comment. Who asked the question? Trinicia asked. Shout out to Trinicia, by the way. A lot of friends I see in here. So we got Keon. Keon was on here a couple weeks in a row. Trinicia, hey girl. We have Doug. He was on as well. Hey Trisha. Hey Betty. Hey girl. That's my fellow LA girl. Who else do we have that I recognize the names? All right. So Trinicia is asking, how do you keep the energy after a period of time? And I'll answer mine and I'll let you guys get in. To me, I think it's about doing the same thing that you did initially. So a relationship is a living thing, just like a plant. If you give attention to it, it's going to flourish. If you're going to give it what it needs, it's going to flourish. But if you abandon it and neglect it, it's going to die. And so when we are first, meeting somebody and we're excited, we are feeding into them. We're learning about them. We're interacting with them. We are trying to see what they like so that we can do more of. And we're putting our best foot forward. I think the more we can emulate those initial steps, the more you can. Like, for example, I think the reason why the idea of a date night is so good, and by the way, I've been meaning to say this, Blair, but congratulations on your nuptials. Walking down the aisle. Hey, welcome to the married club.
Or as my fiance teaches me to do now,
Wait, you called her fiance?
I mean my wife. Ooh, I said fiance, wife.
I was like, I saw the beautiful.
You ain't hear that. You ain't hear that. You ain't hear that. You ain't hear that.
You're gonna have to edit this live stream.
I'll have to cut that part out. He's so used to being fiance. That's how new it is. But the reason why I think that date night is so important is because there's something exciting about, one, looking forward to it, right? It's like it's something that you don't have all the time. Two, the anticipation building up, getting dressed, getting ready. And then three, the actual activity itself versus the ho-hum. It's just another Friday night. We'll figure out what to do. If you're not intentional about it, it's going to be ho-hum. And even like with the sex, I think that if it's like a routine, you have some partners where you're like, I know what he's going to do. He's going to walk in, take off his shoes, put his pants on the chair.
Right.
It's so routine. I think it's important to switch things up. If you normally are always in the bedroom, missionary style, then maybe get a sitter and be in the kitchen and do doggy style. Like, if you don't switch it up, it's going to become boring, just like eating the same meatloaf every single day. Who wants to have the same meal every day? So that's my 2 cents. Feel free to give me back my change.
I would say, sex is like a muscle. It's like if you don't use it, you lose it. You see what I mean? And so many people, I forgot the number, but there's a high percentage of marriages that are sexless marriages, right? And that's like if you have sex less than 11 times, I think, in a year or something like that. I believe that's the statistic on it. But a lot of times people get so in routine of not doing it, right, that they almost have to like muster it up to get back to it. But then they realize they really liked it. It's like, it's like, oh, I actually remember what this was like. I like it. Then they get in this season where they just do it all the time. And then it goes back. Then it goes back down again. Like stuff gets in the way. They say they go 3-4 days, and they're like, "Oh, forget it, I'm tired." So it's like this thing. Like you have to use it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to lose it, and you have to prioritize it. And I think I wanted to ask Charelle too, because Charelle, you kept saying you own it, right? And I feel like what I hear from a lot of men is because their wives don't own it, it's a chore to them. And so the man feels like it's a chore, right? Mm-hmm. And so he doesn't want to initiate it because he's like, I'm tired of pity sex. You know, and I'm over the pity sex.
Garbage. Cook a meal. Like that's the part that entices females. Figure out what's the emotional part that you can tap into her to trigger that within her. Like come out the bathroom. Well, no, she might not like that. I was say come out the bathroom wet and naked, but no, she might not like that. But you know, different things to show her that you actually care.
And ask her.
Feeling emotionally. Ask her what turns her on.
Yeah, but I was going to say, maybe don't even ask her what turns her on, which you can, but I'm saying maybe if what I've heard women say is they're sick of sex being the focus. So if the guy switches gears to go, what just makes you happy? That's a natural byproduct. Like, don't let there be a woman who is so filled that her toes are curling. She will darn near molest you. Like she's like, get over here. I
gotta push back though, Yancey. I gotta push back a little bit. Okay, go ahead. Right. The only reason the only reason I'm saying that is because we always seem to make the sex conversation about doing something for the woman, right? Mm-hmm. I know a lot of men who, if they are given sex, they're more likely to take that trash out. They're more likely to do these other things, right? You see what I'm saying? So why is it always the conversation is about, I got to make this woman happy just to get sex? That gets a little boring too.
I would agree.
Yeah, I want to jump in here too because I wholeheartedly disagree with sex being a bartering tool.
Mm-hmm.
If we are communicating like we need to communicate, then the sex should come. I should be able to have you comfortable and asking what you like and all that good stuff, doing the things you like. So I had a partner who she loved. I'm 6'4", about 275, and I would come up behind her and just, look down while she was in the mirror doing her hair, whatever it is. It's just the communication piece, finding out what she like. But me taking out the trash or me doing a task for sex is a definitely no-go.
So the reason why I mentioned about taking out trash and stuff like that is because when it comes down to women, a lot of women put sex on the back burner because they're looking at different chores and different things that need to be done. And in order, so for men, it's more so physical. Like when they see a certain something, like they can get turned on immediately. For a woman, she got so many different things that's in the forefront of her mind. Sex is the last thing. So if you take those things off her plate, it's not as a bartering tool, but it's like, hey, I recognize that you need this in order for you to be able to please me in this manner. Like same thing. I was talking to a client yesterday. She walk around like she worked from home, her and her husband. She never comb her hair. She keep on pajamas and they don't have sex. And I was like, well, it's your job to please your husband. And she was like, why do I feel like I have to get dressed up for him to do it? I said, because it's natural for a man to look at you and get enticed by that. So it's the same thing where the flip side for a woman, it's natural for a woman to have some things taken off her plate to be turned on by her partner. The same way that a man look and gets turned on, she feel and get turned on.
And I was
acts of service is a love
thing. That when you're at your happiest, that's when you, as a woman, you want to express yourself that way. And so she might do obligatory sex, but as the men will tell you, they can feel the difference between obligatory BJ and I cannot wait. I want to see how many licks it takes to get to the center of the lollipop, BJ. So I'm just saying when it instead of looking at it like, okay, I got 2 coins, I'm going to cash them in, for how much can this get me? It's more so, how can I fill her love tank? Which is why I was saying, you don't even necessarily have to ask her, what do you like? How do you want to be bent over? And what this, you could just say, baby, what can I do for you? If a man were to say that to a woman, her panties would probably fall off. Like, forget getting wet. They'd probably fall off. And then, but here's the trick though. You can't have sex within 24 hours. Like when you do your deed and don't ask for sex. Snuggle her, cuddle her. Like for me, give me a scalp massage. I like my hair played with, whatever. Like, and then don't ask for, this is not my testimony because I don't have an issue with my libido, but I'm just saying, if a woman doesn't want to, do the things and just love her. Because a lot of my girlfriends, they don't feel like she's seen as a soul. A lot of them feel like they're vaginas, and nobody wants, just like a man doesn't want to feel like a wallet, a woman doesn't want to feel like a vagina. Nobody wants to feel like they're one piece of their self. And so that's what happens, is that the woman feels like, do you not care about my brain? Do you not care about my day? Do you not care about my body being tired? You know, whatever. She wants to feel loved, and that's how you make her feel loved. And so she physically opens up when she feels loved. So
yeah.
I want to get to, we had another question, I believe. Y'all, the stuff would be so good. I'll be like not wanting to get to the questions. Keon says it comes down to communication. When a woman feels loved, it makes her feel sexy. When a man is getting sex, it makes him feel loved. That was a whole word. Can we have a golf clap for that comment? It was a little golf clap. So I think that women need to understand this, and I like that you brought that up, Troy, that it shouldn't always be the man, groveling for sex. I cannot scream this loud enough from the highest mountain. So many men say, I don't want a woman to oblige me. I want her to damn near tackle me like the dude on the football field.
Desire.
The desire. And like they said, with head, no lazy head. Like it should be, I asked a guy, what makes it more enjoyable? They said when a woman is passionate about it and she seems almost more into it than me, that's when it's mind blowing. And so with the women, and you guys, okay, I'm giving a little preview. So those of you who are offended easily, this is where you want to click off. I'm letting you know, okay? It's like the opposite of a spoiler alert. Our society caters too much to women. I'm going to say that, okay? Caters way too much to women. There is so much of a princess mentality. It's the princess syndrome, okay? Y'all, we are really gonna get into this later, but I'm just gonna say
you need to just
I need another drink. I need another drink. What is it?
I'm good at that.
Oh, my unsubscribes. I'm getting unsubscribe notifications.
Yeah.
But
man.
this is the thing. Women, your job as his partner is to please him. The same way his responsibility as your partner is to please you. And this is the thing that infuriates me about our society. Women are coddled and they are allowed to make a grocery list, a laundry list, a freaking scroll that you whoosh, and it just rolls down the sidewalk of what they want and need in a man. But let that man say the 2 things that he wants, because most guys, it's like 2 or 3 things. Feed me, make love to me. Okay.
I'll kind of piggyback on that, and I'll tell you a very quick story. I did on my last book, I was a special guest at a book club. It was like 27 different women right there, right? And I said, let's do a show of hands. How many women here are married, right? And I think about 8 of them raised their hands. And so I said, okay. So I said, and I had it up on a whiteboard. And I said, okay, let's create a list of the things that you want from a man. And they were like, John, he got to be this, and he and he got to be a leader. And I don't want no dude with no big old belly. And and they ran it down. And I said, okay, all right, cool. What are the things that you can bring to him?
Crickets.
You would have thought I asked a science question. I mean, it was just, the room went quiet. And they were like, whatever he wants. I said, I'm going to take it even further. Do you know one of the first 3 things that are most important to women? Most important to men. And I said, I'm going to give you a hint. It ain't sex and it ain't food. And they were like, the point about it is, like you said, a lot of women have what I call a Disney complex, where essentially they believe everything is about them. He has to deal with my attitude. He has to deal with my behavior. If whatever I have that is what's that?
My ugly pajamas.
Ugly pajamas. Yeah, exactly. He should love the fact that my hair is all over he should love everything about me. But do not, like you said, do not understand that this is a door that swings both ways. And it's something, to your point, Yancy, that is taught to young girls almost from their formative years.
Yes.
That a woman, a little girl should be loved and whatever comes, whether she has a bad
I
attitude.
was taught that a man is lucky to breathe my air. Like, and I quote.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So,
and I believe that that's the case, but you're also lucky to breathe his. Like, it works both ways.
And that's the thing, though. It's not the mutual. Like, all those things are fine. Like, you should be accepted, but then you should be able to reverse it. Like, that was the best thing that I learned from my ex-husband. He taught me about hypocrisy. I did not realize how hypocritical I was. I was like a raging hypocrite. I was like the person that was like so opinionated on this side, and I didn't care on this side. Or on this side, I didn't care. But then I was so opinionated. It was like so off kilter. And so, like you said, if you have that classic person who's like, just accept me as I am. But then they have all these stipulations. That's fine if you want to be a hippie. Just accept me as I am. Well, then accept him as he is. You're going to take that dad bod. You're going to take
all
that $30,000 income. You know, like, what is good for the goose must be good for the... My veins are going to pop out, y'all.
Listen, but Yonsei, here's the thing. Men are trying to say this stuff. Like, men are trying... We are trying to, but we aren't. Like, men tell me every day, I just don't ever feel heard. I mean, think about it. If you go on the internet and anything that is asked to a man, watch what happens to the post.
Yes.
It gets hijacked by women, right? It's like anything that is asked to men is like totally, we're told how we're supposed to think about everything. And I'm just like, how are we supposed to be in a relationship together?
When I do a post, literally, and Blair can testify to this because he's been in the group for years. Literally, I will say, men, all caps, what do you think about this? And then women would flock to it and start answering. And I'd be like, your profile looks like a woman. You're a woman. So then I would say man, male, dude, homie, guy with a member down there. Like, I would have to put all these stipulations. And inevitably, there'd be someone who was like super triggered. And they're like, I know it's for men, but. So then I had to always do an equal post. Okay, women, what do you think about this? Men are not allowed to think or speak. And right before I came on here, like, when I say I'm passionate about this, it really pisses me off. And I commented on the video that I'm embarrassed for my gender. I was watching this Kevin Samuels video, and this woman came on and she was like, you know, wanting to know why so many people disliked him and blah, blah, blah. And he started to try to answer. She cut him off. So he was quiet. She finished her thought. So he started to answer. She cut him off. He let her finish her thought. It was so painful to watch. And when he would try to start to answer the question, he would get 3 words in and she'd throw another question. Then he'd get 2 more words and she'd throw another question. And then it was like badgering. And it's like, how do you not see one of the things that we as women really, and I say we have to learn to shut up. And I don't mean like don't be talkative. I'm talkative, that's fine. What I mean is, if you want him to listen to you and actually take it in, we have to be willing to do that. And I watch so many shows, so many couples, so many things happen, and that is the universal thing. A man cannot get out his complete thought. And I don't know what to do other than to just bring attention to it.
I don't know if I'll just kind of chime in. I don't know if there's really a solution or an answer. Do you think a lot of it has to do with the fact that most of our women don't really have respect for Black men?
Okay, y'all. See, this is getting into part 2, and y'all getting into all the stuff I want to talk about. I 1000% want to talk about that. Do not forget that. Do not forget that, because that is the biggest overarching thing. And I want to unpack why. Now, because see, this is my fault, because I went on my soapbox, you guys. I'm telling you, I'm like trying to hold it together because I want to talk about this. But I don't want to forget, girl, we have to give some tips on how the woman can owe that hasn't been able to owe. I'm like rearing to go with this conversation. Okay. We pull it back in.
Absolutely.
Pull it back in.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, girl, what tips can you give? We got a lot of clapping happening in the comment section. Let me look at these comments really quick. I'm gonna give the mic back to you. He said the problem is we as men don't want to talk. Asking a man to talk is like pulling your lip over the top of your head because we don't want to talk. I don't think though. I think that men love to talk. If you go to a barbershop, they won't shut up. It's when they feel like they don't like the subject, they're not interested in the subject, or they feel like it's gonna be a waste of their time. That's just my opinion. Men can only want what women want to give. Ooh, what are the 3 things a man needs? Cindy, don't forget that question. We're gonna get into that. That's for you, Blair. We don't want the things we tell our women in the moment of weakness to be used against us. Oh, yes. I did a video on that. I almost cursed in that video. Do not use his vulnerability as a weapon. That is orrible. Okay, so I'm going to have some self-control, and we're going to get back into
these orgasm tips.
Yes.
Maybe they'll listen when we get them tips.
All right.
Look, if they get the tip, they're going to be real happy, okay?
I think
more than the tip, though. Okay, girl.
First things first is for women to actually identify like what it is that they want. They can say they want an orgasm all day long, but what are you willing to do in order to achieve that? And it's like own it. You know, I also wanted to just point out there's so many different benefits to having an orgasm. First of all, the feeling in and of itself is a pleasure like none other. And then the different types, because there's actually 12 different types of orgasms like that our body is capable of having, which men aren't. Yes, so it's so amazing. But some of the benefits is like better mood, it's a pain reliever, like different endorphins are released, so you actually feel closer to your partner. It decreases like blood pressure, it helps with your heart rate, so there's a lot of like health factors behind it as well. Even when a woman climax, because of the clenching, it's like a mini exercise, like a mini workout. So it's a lot of different benefits to actually having an orgasm. And then with that being said, like I encourage women to actually identify like what it is that you do want to experience. Do you want to experience an orgasm from penetration? If not, why not? You know, like, do you want to experience an orgasm with your man? If not, why not? But make it plain and clear. I feel like success loves clarity. You have to be clear on what it is that you want and then proceed forward with that. So the biggest thing, I don't know like where we're at with time, but I'm trying to hurry up. The biggest thing.
No, you're good. I'm just making sure y'all are good. Okay.
The action steps behind is for women to actually learn and enjoy their body for themselves. That does not mean run and get a toy. Toys actually, especially vibrators, they actually desensitize your parts. So if a woman is using like a toy to climax or reach an orgasm, it's so much harder for her partner because your brain, your body becomes conditioned to that sensation, which cannot be mimicked by a human because
Ladies,
it's artificial.
Did you get that? You are desensitizing your being. Okay.
Yes, get rid of the toys. And even if you want to bring them back in after, you know, you maximize like your orgasms, then do that. But if you want to learn how to climax on your own from penetration, leave the toys alone. The next step is just to treat yourself. Like I always encourage women, the same way you want your man to take care of you, the same way you say that he needs to take care of your body, you do that for yourself. And not only for the sake of receiving, but you also need to build that relationship with yourself. You need to know what you like. You need to be able to feel safe and secure and actually feel what it's like to experience that type of pleasure, like on your own. Teach yourself that. And 9 times out of 10, your man will come along and you'll be able to be satisfied from him and by him without even telling him. Because your body is trained. I feel like all of us are energy in a body. So whatever energy you're emitting, whatever energy you're giving off, like your partner is going to pick up as well. So definitely take your time, bring you some bath water, put you on meditation music, like take that time out for yourself. And it's also just self-love. It's quieting your mind. It's releasing all of the outside noise, which is another key to having an orgasm. There's been a lot of studies that actually shows that the brain waves actually calm when a woman have an orgasm. So the more that you're able to tap into that essence of calming your mind down, the easier that it will be to actually have an orgasm. Another thing I teach women all the time, and you guys can do it with me, like if you want, but like pay attention to the sensation that your body give off. I tell them all the time, just put your arm out, take your hand and lightly rub it up against your skin. Slowly. Man, you can do it too. Just slowly.
I love the soft touch.
Exactly. But you see how heightened it is, that little bit of touch. You can feel it like all over. And for me, it just create like a tingling sensation. So I teach women that all the time. Do that. And when you're working and trying to figure out like what type of things pleasure you, slow it down, be present in the moment, do those feather-like touches, just rub yourself all over. And then when you're ready, when you feel aroused, then you utilize your hands. And I was going to say whatever else you have to, but no tools, no anything like that. But you utilize your hands to find out what it is that you like. Slow down. Feel how you feel on the inside. That's a turn on for me. Like if I know what he feeling like when he go in there, like it's just a natural, you create these different pleasures within your body, and it creates, just like he was talking about that muscle memory, it creates that within your system, helping you to be able to climax. And just don't give up. Keep going. Keep pleasuring. And I feel like once you practice it, you'll be able to maintain it and experience it more with a partner, even with that penetration. But leave the toys alone, get to know yourself, pleasure yourself, see what turns you on, and just keep going until you actually experience it.
I know for me, it is so mental, and I know that that's very common with women, but that's why I can't be a one-night stand person or a random hookup girl. Like, if I don't know for a fact that the man I'm giving my body to loves me, adores me, and is not going anywhere, I can't relax. And so it's this feeling, of course I could force myself in that moment, but it's different for me. Like I need that spiritual, emotional connection where I'm looking into his eyes, he's looking into my eyes, and I feel safe. And I'm not worried about, I think it was Nyatu was talking about, if you're worried about what's going to happen after, like it just takes the joy out of it. Even if you have a partner, like people joke about leaving afterwards or not spending the night, like that's just so awkward. If like, okay, when I'm done with this act, this person's going to get up and leave. Like that's just weird. It's alarming. So I think it's interesting. The other thing I want to say is regarding the body, men are doing what they want. Typically they take charge, in my opinion. Typically you hear about a man, like if you watch TV and this love-making scenes or whatever, it's the guy physically, the positions he's taking charge. There are, a few positions where it makes the woman more so in charge. Do you encourage women doing more positions that put them physically in the driver's seat so that they can find what works for them? Because I would imagine as a guy, they're literally just moving themselves and getting into positions that are arousing, versus the woman, she's just at his mercy. I mean, of course you can kind of like move your hips or do whatever, but you might not be at the best angle where he is. What do you recommend as far as positions?
So the easiest way for a woman to climax from penetration is when she is riding him. That is the easiest way, because not only is she controlling it, she feels safe, she knows what the movements are. But another thing, which is kind of like a cheat, is also the stimulation towards the clitoris, because of that movement that helps them orgasm from penetration as well. So it's like a blended orgasm, because you have that clitoral stimulation as well as the penetration that causes it. But definitely like trying different positions and stuff like that. Another one that's easier for her is like with the legs all the way up, laying on her back, legs all the way up. And that allows him to go deeper and hit different spots as well. And man, tell y'all something really quick. I don't know, some of y'all might know, especially you and Nyatu. Like, I see that look on your face. But a woman can come just the same way like men ejaculate from that same repetition, Same thing with the woman, especially when she's on her back, legs all the way up. That same repetition, don't stop. Just keep going until she actually like does climax.
And I was going to say I'm so glad you said that, because I think what guys don't realize is that there is a buildup for women. Like, guys can switch positions, do all this stuff. But for women, it's a buildup. And I likened it to a pump. You know, if you're an old fashioned water pump, you know, you're pumping, and there's pressure, and it might seem like monotonous and no, this is not exciting, because, you know, in porn, you're swinging from the chandelier and then you're over here on the table and you're on the rug. But with a woman, she needs that steady build, and that water pressure is, you know, building. But one move of the handle in a different direction, she just lost all that momentum. And so, you know, I think that's why a lot of guys struggle with orals, because they might just reposition themselves, and then he just, you know, it's not that she takes forever, it's just that you lost all that momentum that you just built up. So, was there anything else regarding, because you actually got into my other question, which was about desensitizing yourself. Was there anything else that you wanted to give as far as tips for women?
The biggest thing is, women, if you have not been able to climax, like, there's a lot of different resources out there. It can be a number of different things that keep you from actually having an orgasm. Reach out for help. Reach out for help. You don't have to put up with having sex just to have it. Like, it's a pleasure. It's a gift. Enjoy it. So that's my, you know, my number one takeaway is, like, if you don't hear anything else, if you are not able to climax, reach out for help.
And I think this is why it's so important to have a partner who you're comfortable with, because if you might tell them, you might have that pre-conversation, but because it's the first time, they might forget, or they might not do the intensity. Like, I'm trying to keep this from being like rated R, rated X, but like, even with stimulating, the girls will say, I asked a question in the group. Some women literally have either no feeling at all, or it just does nothing to them. Like, you may as well be like touching their nose. It's like there's nothing happening. Other women can completely climax from their girls being pleasured, we'll just say, okay, the twins. But some women, they want a gentle, you know, we'll say the bottle. Some women want the bottle to be sucked very gently. Other women want that thing just, you know, suction cup and, you know, full vacuum, you know, vacuum cleaner suction level. So it depends. You have to talk to the guy about what you personally want. Do you want him to be aggressive? Like, some women get turned on by the man being very aggressive and manhandling them. Other women want that very soft, delicate. Other times it's about when. Like, I want you to manhandle me at this point and at this point. Like, you really have to go in there and have these conversations. What I want people to walk away from, if anything, from part one, is that every single encounter is different. Not everybody is the same. And that there is nothing natural about sex except for the actual act of sex, like the entering into her body. Everything else needs to be coached and instructed, and it doesn't make it not sexy. It just means you're a grown up and you understand that you need to communicate with your partner. So, without further ado, are we ready to make some people mad?
I can't wait to hear this part.
Look, now, I'm being titillating on purpose because, you know, we're on a show, but I am dead serious when I say I want to nip this stuff in the bud. There were things that I didn't know, and there's, you know, the verse says, the truth will set you free. I genuinely didn't know certain things about myself. And the reason why I ended up having a platform on social media was totally by accident. I never set out to be a social media influencer. I was somebody who didn't date, got married, practically the first guy, and then after getting a divorce 12 years later, I had a whole bunch of questions. I genuinely did not know the answers to these questions about dating specifically. So I'm just rapid fire asking the questions that I want to ask. And through the men like, you know, Blair answering, I got so much information. And a lot of the women were like, well, I want to see what the guys are saying. So they kind of are gathering around. And then the other guys are like, well, let me hear what they're saying and see if it compares to me. And so what we learned is that there are a lot of things that are universal truths There are a lot of things that we think are universal that everybody has different preferences. Like, don't speak for me, honey. And if you have an open mind, you can learn about yourself. And I'm going to tell myself, I had princess syndrome big time. I was that person that said, how dare you ask me what I bring to the table? Have you not seen me? Hello, I am here. She has arrived. And so I didn't realize that even if a guy did want to treat you like a princess, there's an air of entitlement that is like a bad body odor. And that if you have that attitude, it's that stank face. We all know it. You can see it in photos. But some women have this attitude. It's just like this. The way they sit. It's the pursed lips. It's the raised eyebrows. It's like, I'm not going to give you all my attention. They are there ready for a show. You may as well be HBO because they want to be entertained. It's like, okay, you got me here. Now what are we going to do? More importantly, what are you going to do? And that attitude, that energy, I was never that bad. But that attitude, that energy, I want women to understand that just like a foul fish odor from the nether regions or funky underarm odor, it reeks. And no matter how beautiful you are, a man cannot handle being around it that long. Or he might just be around it, hit it and quit it, and then move on. But he is not going to wife her. And my golf clap if I'm on point, you guys, because I know I don't have a male member, but I'm going to try to do my best to speak up for you guys. And this is coming from men directly who have talked to me. So, that's my backstory. That's why I'm so passionate. I see things from the man's perspective, and then I see women doing the complete opposite and then complaining why they're single. So for me, I'm going, if I could just get this message through, these men want to wife you up. But we gotta get you guys on the same page. So that's where my heart is coming from. I'm not just out here trying to get ratings and let's be titillating. Like, I really think that people can have better relationships and get in a relationship if they knew this stuff. So let's get back to what Blair was saying at the beginning. Do you think a lot of women don't respect men? Hell yes. It is obvious. Because you take the example of the president of the United States, and I want to say the president, Barack Obama. We're not going to say the guy who's there right now. But let's just say Barack Obama walked in, right? If he started speaking, how many women do you think would cut him off?
None.
Just talking, okay? So if he said he was hungry, people would probably be like knocking other women down like it's the end zone to get to that plate. So we know that women these women, okay, not all, don't respect men based on their actions. And so any woman who says, I respect a man, but doesn't let him finish his thought, doesn't show him deference. And there's a video that I did about things, the 10 Commandments for women. A lot of things women don't even realize are disrespectful because they haven't even taken the time to ask him or observe. And, you know, I know I'm being long-winded. I'm going to get this out. But one of the things I said in that video that I had to learn, and my ex taught me this, my ex-husband. So, look, I give credit when credit's due. There is such a thing as currency, and the currency is your attention. And it's, we'll say affability. I call it tackleability. But if you in any way carry yourself in a way that says to a man, you got the green light. On any level, I now understand that it's disrespect to a man. That's why women will say, what's the big deal? I just did XYZ. Because yes, that thing in and of itself may not be a big deal. But as a man, men know how men think. And they say, oh, if she does this, the likelihood that I could get at that is much higher. Therefore, they want their woman to not even enter that road. Like, we're not saying you're at the end of the road where it dead ends. We're saying don't even turn your car onto that road because that's where it's going. And so we as women have to trust men, just like we say trust us. When we tell you something about that girl, leave her alone, she gonna play you. They know about other men. And so we have to respect them to listen. So watch that video if you guys haven't and learn the things. Okay. Thank you guys for letting me vent and get that off my chest. Let me check these comments really quick before we get into the other. Gabrielle said, tell me if I'm saying your name right, love. She said, I'm taking notes.
Cabral.
Say it again.
Cabral.
Yeah, I was butchering it. Cabral, thank you. She said, I'm truly taking notes. This is an honest, open discussion that is needed. And I love the fact that women are open to this, because at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be in a loving relationship? But if you don't know any better, you're not going to do better. Let's see. We're getting a lot of claps from the guys. Men, do you know? Oh, Ebony's asking, men, do you know if you've ever given a woman an O? Do you guys want to answer that? I know it's going back into part 1. Have you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
I know.
Absolutely.
Have a passionate answer not to.
it's some things that happen, you know.
Right. That's what I said. If you fake it, you know.
There's certain things you can't fake.
Certain things you can't.
And there are some confessions that are being said that'll tell you.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, there are some real confessions. Like if somebody, there is a look a woman gives you and the way she talks to you. Like if you have changed something in her life, you know you have done something very, very well.
Yeah.
You're getting a well done, my faithful servant. It says, I know man that will wife. Oh, okay. She said, I know men that will wife the biatch and leave the good girl alone. However, I want to argue 2 things. There are toxic men out there. So, you know, we don't want to deal with the outliers. That's one of the disclaimers I wanted to give. We are not dealing with outliers because we all know there could be some ratchet hood rat who gets wifed up. But then again, you have to look at the guy. Is he a quality dude? Okay, so those are outliers. What we're going to be talking about is your everyday good guy and everyday good girl. So many things that I want to share. I'm going to let each of you guys, each of the men, give the number 1 thing that you hear men complaining about. Like, my God, if we could just change this about women, relationships would be so much better. And I know I'm putting you on the spot because that's a big question, so you could pass if you need to.
I have an answer.
Good. I was hoping someone would be ready with one.
I think men absolutely want women to have skin in the game. We want women to be invested. We want them to have something to lose too. We want them to have, put something on the line as well, and not this time where, they're the only prize and, men are we're the only ones who have some skin in the game.
Okay, so guys in the comments, comment skin in the game if you agree with what Nyatu said, that you want women to be, and I'm going to add this. I did I don't know what I did. It was a live video or something. But I said, women, when you have a horrible date, and you know how pissed you are at the end of the date, that you just wasted that time, all the time getting ready, the time on your date, whatever. Well, the guy is also pissed that he had to spend his time, but he also spent his money. So we have gone to, meals, restaurants where we ordered and it was nasty, or we went to a show and the movie was terrible and you can't get your money back. Imagine that being a regular occurrence. Like, at least the restaurant, you could just not order that item again or not go back to that restaurant. But the guy is he's gambling. He doesn't know from one date to the next if she's going to be trash, and he's wasted his money. So, okay, guys, comment if that is something. Chavez says definitely wants skin in the game. Okay, so there's a slight delay too for the comments, so we'll see them in like a minute, the guys that are agreeing. Okay, I'm going to put you on, Ron. What would you say if women could just do or stop doing, relationships would be so much sweeter?
We kind of already talked about it. So my thing is the Disney complex, or that princess syndrome. It is so detrimental. It is one of the most detrimental things that we have in our community. A lot of times when you see a Disney cartoon or whatever it is, as a princess, and normal times she is displaying some horrible behavior or whatever, and some prince, some pauper, some knight or whatever sees her while she's being a brat or being whatever it is, and he automatically falls head over heels in love with her. She doesn't have to do anything. She's just a bratty person, and he's ready to fight the dragon, the genie, or whatever it is to win her affection, and they live happily ever after. And that's just not reality. That's not how we're built. That's not how we're made. So if women can get over that Disney romantic comedy where the guy tries she is just, let's say, take Hitch. All his dates were horrible in the movie, but for some reason, this was his girl that he had to go get. That's just not real life, and that's not how we work.
Okay, I like that. All right, so we got Disney Princess. Comment Disney Princess or Princess Syndrome, I like to call it. If you think that that is an issue. Guys, if you're agreeing with this Princess Syndrome. What's that?
I said entitlement.
Yes, that's the word. Entitlement. Oh my God. Okay, Troy, what is yours? What is your number one thing? Let's put this in the universe. This is going to change. And
Let's do it.
Going to be freed from this.
So for me, I would say to operate their natural feminine energy and to allow us to be heard. So feminine energy is receiving, right? So to operate in that space is the superpower, is what I call it. It's the superpower, but women have been taught to lead with the things that they desire in men.
You all in my notes.
And it is a turnoff. I'm just not a turnoff, but it's not the superpower. Let's just say that.
Yes. We are going to hack the crap out of that, okay? All right, so lack of femininity, we'll say for that one. If you guys comment, lack of femininity, if that's an issue. All right, and Blair, last but not least. And if you have something to add, love, you can jump in too. I know I said all the guys, but all right, Blair.
I will say, I will actually kind of piggyback on is it Nyatu? I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
In Nyatu, but you can call me Hitch.
We'll call you Hitch, brother. We'll call you Hitch. I would probably piggyback on what he said in regards to entitlement. A lot of our sisters are very entitled in believing that, I always give kind of a model of, and I did this a while back, and I said, let's look at a first date, right? And the first date, and not even necessarily the first date. I'm saying I'm a single guy, right? And let's say I have a single young lady over here. You expect me to come over and say hi to you. You expect me to ask for your phone number. You expect me to call you first. You expect me to set up the date. You expect me to confirm the date. You expect me to come pick you up. You expect me to open your door. You expect me to pay for everything. What exactly are you doing that is equal to that? And a lot of women are like, well, that's the way it should be. You don't realize how, and I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Ron or Nyatu. Women have gotten to the point that they are so entitled that the idea of taking something that is basically 90-10% type of thing and saying, can we make it like 70-30? The idea of even doing that is, you might as well be calling their mom a name.
So what does that look like, Blair? If she were to say, okay, that's fair, what is she doing then? Well,
like I said, how that looks, we could debate that all evening, but my issue is what exactly, so even taking it past that, it's all the way down the line. I don't think women realize that they expect to be catered to. Facts. And men are finally saying to themselves, you know what? I want I want to be catered to. Not, you bringing me stuff, and I don't mean catered to in that aspect.
You want to matter, though.
Exactly.
It's not happy wife, happy life anymore.
Exactly. And so at each and every stage of a relationship, if I ask this woman to be my wife, I'm the one that's supposed to go buy the ring. I'm supposed to get down on one knee. Okay, again, now we're talking about an uneven situation because what exactly did you do? Where's your invested interest in this? And so what men are finally doing is, and shame me if I said, they're finally getting their balls back, and they're finally saying to themselves, you know what? This is going to be somewhat of a quid pro quo thing. This is not going to be a scenario where you get and you just kind of collect all the benefits, and I got to come to you to do all these things just to get a little here's a little kernel for you, Blair. So that's not how it's going to be.
So this is what I want to do, and I'm going to go backwards with the stuff that you guys brought up, because I do think those are the top things. Guys, what can women do? So let's just say, for example, you have a woman who's watching this video and she's like, wow, that is true. We do have an entitlement, air about us, and we do have princess syndrome. What does it look like? I'm going to give a suggestion.
Well,
smiling is a big one. Breaking away from the pack is a big one. If you want to have a man talk to you, understand how intimidating it is to walk into a pack of women. And so if you kind of catch the attention of a guy looking at you, go to the restroom. Purposely break away from the pack. Even if you have to just be subtle about it, but find a way, make eye contact and smile, and let them know that it's clear to come your way. And I've heard guys say this too, even if they're not offering to pay for the meal, at least do the gesture of reach for the wallet, at least, go for, or I'm sorry, the bill, or offer to pay the tip. Those are the only things I can think of. And then the other thing I would say is to call him back in between. Like when he calls you, don't expect him to only call you, because I was guilty of that. Do call him a little bit and text him a little bit in between. And
so, my issue with it is, and this is something that's going to make women kind of, jump back like Scooby-Doo. Why can't you call him first? What's the problem with that? Because what's happened is women have created this mindset. Well, if you call him first, then that means you're taking the lead and everything. But wait a minute, he just did a whole bunch of things. He was the one that walked over to you, asked for your number, et cetera, et cetera. This is the problem that I think women are not hearing, is men are finally saying, you've got to be as invested in this as I am.
Okay, Blair, what about this? What if instead of calling her, because for me, I don't like taking away that role, because I have found that if I take the reins too much, it puts a man in his feminine, and I am very unattracted to that. But what do you think about what do you think about just a text that said, you know what, it was so great meeting you? Is that enough to kind of like, because women are asking for specifics in the comments. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, first of all, you should be doing that regardless. That should be something that's happening, automatically, right? If he had the nerve and the gumption to go over, like you said, a pack of women and say, can I chat with you for a second, and pulled you aside, and then had the nerve to ask for your number, and then had the nerve to ask for, can he take you out? The idea that you say, it was nice meeting you, that's almost like, that should be a given.
Okay, so ladies,
right?
There you go.
And this is what I mean. And this is what I mean, that what I'm saying, like I said, there's a whole bunch of things that women could do. I don't want to get into it right now.
But they're literally asking. That's what I'm saying. This is the platform, because a lot of times on social media, we'll say things, but we don't have time to unpack them. So I want the women to walk away with at least 10 things that they can do between, him approaching you and going out, or maybe the first couple times they go out. So like we talked about, smiling, separate yourself from the pack, text him after you get the number and you leave. Hey, it was great meeting you, looking forward to speaking soon. Giving him that indication, because I'll tell myself again, I did not realize how nerve-wracking it was for men until I had to do it myself, because I had to do it for another reason. It wasn't for like getting a guy's phone number, but going up to a stranger is very intimidating, especially when you want something and you can possibly be rejected. I had to do it in a business environment, and that is awkward AF. Men are not just naturally born with it. It's awkward for them too. They just deal with the awkwardness. And then two,
it's an art.
Yeah. And then two, I didn't realize that men can be, I say insecure, and I don't mean this in a like, I'm making fun of you guys, but men can be unsure. That's probably a better way of saying it. They could be unsure. Right. So even though, she gave the number, you have a hard time gauging how interested she is. So she might be super interested, but I have heard, guys that are really attractive going, I'm nervous to call her. I don't want to, I didn't know that. I thought you guys were like, I got the number. I'm going to call her. I didn't realize there was any kind of nervous energy between, these occurrences. So what I'm trying to say is, whatever you can do to make him comfortable. Like if he does call you, be like, oh, I was hoping you'd call, or oh, I was just thinking about you today.
Yeah. Because little flirty stuff. And that's what I mean. That's what I mean is, a lot of times with women, they don't realize that they have kind of a gamesmanship that takes them out of the game. They say, well, he called me or he texted me, I'm gonna get back with him whenever. I'm not gonna be the first to call. I'm not gonna be the first to walk over. I'm not gonna be the first to call. I'm not gonna do. And it's like, well, wait a minute. You're basically taking a passive approach in a situation where you should be showing some interest, right? So that's where I think women, shoot themselves in the foot a lot of times, because they don't realize that this whole idea of just sitting back and, well, he's supposed to show me everything. He's supposed to take me out for a good time. And I ask women, what exactly are you doing that's even close to being equal to what he's doing?
And in the comments, you guys, let me know what you men would love for a woman to do to show that, because we've given this concept, but the women are asking for specifics. Guys, Troy and Nyatu, what would you guys say a woman can do? Because I don't believe in switching gender roles completely. I will not, go up to a guy and ask for his phone number, but I do believe that there are subtleties. Like I said, I can call a man over to the other side of the room without opening my mouth. Okay, we know what we're doing. We know what the extra look and the I'm finding multiple reasons to make eye contact. We know what we can do to get the attention, but we have to send those picking signals. But go ahead, guys. What would you say that women can do? Let's give specific examples.
Go ahead and take it, fellas.
So no, I'm with you. I mean, you pointed out a few of them, Yancy, right? Is, when you're out, doing certain small things and gestures that make me feel comfortable. What I'm looking for is, what are my chances of rejection? Do they go up or down as I come approach you? Right now, if I'm inebriated or something like that, I get liquid courage. I might just approach you in front of everybody, right? But like the little boy in me is like, I don't want to be embarrassed in front of a group of women, right? So it's little like the smiling, the breaking away from all those things are important. But I think in terms of after that, I think that's kind of where we were. We were talking about, okay, you got the number, that kind of thing. As soon as you get that number, it needs to be, hey, I really want to hear from you. I really look forward to hearing from you. Give me the rite of passage, because the next day, you know what the guy's doing? He's sitting there trying to figure out, okay, is it too fast that I'm a caller? Is it too slow?
Yes.
I don't want to seem like I'm thirsty, but I also want to seem like this. And so you got this alpha male syndrome where, we'll just do it because that's just what we kind of have been taught to do, and we'll do it. But we want to feel like you are just as invested in this thing as we are.
Can I ask you, Troy, about this really quick? When you said that, the visual came to me of that guy with the little orange things that are guiding the plane. So, because the women are saying, like, we don't want to take the lead. What I see the hybrid is the guy's landing the plane, but he doesn't want the woman on the runway like this. It's a tarmac like this.
Mm-hmm. Just waiting. Sitting there waiting.
But with blank, right? Like blank. Mm-hmm. She's there, but you don't know what is happening. You want her like this.
Yes, so, be an active participant.
Yes,
right?
It's like giving you the signals that you're doing the right thing. Yes, come this direction. If you like him, which would be oh, I'm so glad you called. I just thought about you. Boom. Instantly, within the first line, he's relaxing because he's like, oh my God, she's not rolling her eyes seeing my phone number.
I don't have to be convincing all the time.
There.
Like I don't have to keep continuing to convince you to want my energy. Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to be the guy that y'all are talking about with your homegirls on the phone about how like thirsty he is and how he's bothering me and this, that. You know what's amazing to me though, Yancy? How men don't have to do this when they're really into, like when a woman's really into them, right? It's all of a sudden like they'll give a pass to the guy who they're really into. Like the guy that they're really into ain't even gotta ever call her.
He's not doing enough.
He ain't gotta ever call her. He gotta, he call her once a week and she cool with it. She'll make excuses for him. But the guy that's really into her. So that's my thing. We've been seeing that, right? And we observe. You think we don't look at social media and see how women talk about men? We sit there and look at we pick up on all the scheme, right? You know what I mean? Now we're still confident because we're just designed that way, but it doesn't feel good. I want to feel good when I talk to you.
And that's, and this is where, the femininity thing, because y'all, I love.
Yes, the femininity thing. It comes natural if you're in your feminine energy.
Yes, and it's the reassurance. And this is why I say women need to learn the art of flirting, okay? Women need to know. Look, when I say I have fun dating,
they too busy wanting to be bosses, right? It's like, that's cool, but everything's I'm a boss. And I'm like, yeah, so what is that doing for me in this moment, right? I get it.
Tell me if I respect it. Right? The women's touch, this is the thing, the women's touch, okay? So, because I be practicing sometimes on dates just to see. But a lot of times, if she just, when she's walking, right, just so dainty, and she puts her hand on his arm, to walk, or she's laughing at his joke and she's finding an excuse to touch his shoulder. It's the small little things, or God forbid she puts her hand on his thigh. She's leaning forward trying to see the menu. We know what we're doing, but
all of it.
The little things. I think our generation has lost the subtlety. They're all about like, let me show all my breasts and have my skirt hiked up my behind. You can be covered up, and it's your movements. It's your arch of your back. It's the flip of your hair. It's the giggle. We are women. We need to learn how to be feminine. The way you get in a car. I mean, I went to etiquette school. I used to teach etiquette school where I could walk with the books on my head and turn. There's a way that you get in a car and you swing your leg. There's so much. That's why the high heels and the skirts are such a big deal for men. Not because they're high heels and skirts. Because you walk like this. When you're wearing your little Air Force Ones, you kind of get into it. You might sit like this. But when you're a woman and you're oozing your femininity, it's giving that man that, look at him, Nyatu smiling.
Look at he. Can I make one quick point? Just one quick point about this, and I'll let everybody else talk. But it's kind of like this this femininity thing. I'm passionate about it because I know the effect it has on men. But women can take it as we want you to dumb yourselves down, or we want you to be a damsel in distress. That's not what it is.
Bimbo. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not. And I think women take it that when we say it, they're like, oh, they just want me. Anytime I have a backbone, that means I'm not feminine. I'm like, no, that's not what we're saying. It's the energy. When men tell me they're into a woman, I hear it every single time. They say it's just something about her. Yes. I love her energy, right? I just love her vibe. They don't say, I like her because she's a boss. Yeah, that's a part of it. That's a part of, that's a secret sauce into it. But they don't necessarily say that stuff. They don't lead with those things. They like how they feel around that woman.
Because the men are the ones, and I heard somebody say this, and I love that. A lot of times, women will lead with the thing that they see men leading with. So a man is leading with his money, his accolades, his degrees, his bossness. And so they're like, oh, well, that's what they respect. Cool, then I'm going to do that. No, a man is impressed by another man doing that. But from a woman, he wants his counterpart. He doesn't want his equal. And when I say equal, I don't mean in value. I mean they are different. You want an apple and an orange. An orange doesn't want another orange. When you have that sweet and you have that salty, they complement each other. They want their compliments. And so with a woman, even though she might be super smart, and like you said, he appreciates it, but it's not the whole thing. It's like the little parsley that decorates the plate. If the steak is not there, that's a big deal. If they didn't put the little parsley, the parsley's cute. And again, it's not diminishing it. But that's just not what draws him. And this is what I want women to understand listening to this. We have the world the way we want it to be, and then we have the world the way it is. We as women are so emotional, and a lot of times we can't get past the, I don't like how that makes me feel. We can't get past that part. When you understand the way the world is, that's your power. So I might not like the fact that people tend to rape people who are walking around at 2:00 in the morning in shadows, but the reality is, rapists tend to get to people when they're in the shadows late at night when no one can see. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. I have to operate from wisdom. And so often I hear women not addressing the truth. They just address how they feel about the truth. Oh, well, that's messed up. I went to school and okay. Nobody is saying that that's fair, that a man doesn't give a crap about your degree. He's wired that way. The same way we as women don't give a crap about the way the car is built, and they might be like, I fix her carburetor. I don't care. Or whatever that thing is. We're wired differently. So take yourself out of it, peep game, get yourself a sexy ass man, and be quiet. Like, we're different, and we have to take the personalness out of it. Men are giving us the game. They want softness. They want a soft place to land. They want us to be his corner. It's cute. It's great. You have all these things, but that's not what he's wifing.
Hey, Yonsei, I want to kind of piggyback on that. I don't know how many times I have to tell women to not introduce me to new women like they want guys introduced to them. So I will have somebody say, hey, I have somebody who's perfect for you. You're single, they're single. I'm like, well, tell me about them. Well, she has 2 degrees. She has her own business. She has her own home. She has 3 cars. And I had to say, stop. Hey, 1, how does she look? What's her feminine energy
like? Let's go right there.
Do other guys enjoy being around her? All that good stuff like that. What's her compassion, her accommodation, and her cooperation like? I said, I will be her biggest cheerleader in the background when she's getting her degrees and running her business, all that good stuff. But when we're in that house, I'm looking for the femininity. I'm looking for a softness. I'm looking for that feminine energy, because sometimes you see a woman and she has feminine, she looks like she's feminine, but then you talk to her, she has no feminine energy. So those are the things that I am looking for first. The degrees and the houses and the businesses, that's all cool on the back end, and I would champion it. But if I'm not getting that stuff first, then I don't care about the rest.
That's a deal breaker. The bonus room that has the little nook, and that's cute. But I need the kitchen and the bathroom. Like, That's a deal breaker. And that's what women are not understanding. That is a bonus. But if you come in with this attitude and the loudness and, you know, he does not care if you are Michelle Obama. Literally, Michelle Obama could not get a date if she did not have the decorum and the gentleness and the femininity. All of her badass. Go ahead.
A feminine woman that I'm into can get literally anything she wants out of me.
Anything.
Keys to the kingdom, y'all. Are you listening to this?
A woman who is in her masculine energy makes me want to go toe to toe with her. Who are you talking to?
And wait a minute. Can I just say? Yeah. Look, when you said a word about the masculine energy, this is what women don't understand. And my daddy told me this: do not have your daddy dead or in prison. He said, do not deal with a man in a way that brings him to his masculine energy, like you have masculine energy. When you get into a masculine role, it's like subconsciously a man feels like he's dealing with a man. And
now we gotta fight.
Deals with a man differently. And Nyatu and Troy could be talking right now. And I guarantee you, if Nyatu disrespected Troy's wife, as civil and cool as they're being right now, if Troy didn't back down and he just kept at it and being disrespectful, there are going to be hands. Like, it point blank. I go. They might be cool tomorrow, but tonight there's gonna be hands. But if I'm disrespectful,
it's gonna be cool tomorrow if you disrespectful.
Exactly. It's gonna be some problems long term.
Some missing teeth. But if I am disrespectful, Troy's gonna have to just walk away because you can't. So you cannot. It's like going in a cage with a lion and poking at the nose and poking in the nose and poking in the nose. That's just inhumane. Like, don't rile somebody up that knowing they can't do anything back. You do like a little kid with the aquarium.
Well,
I have
Nemo. That's suggestions for women. I haven't chimed in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, jump in there, man.
Beat the dead horse and sound like everybody else. Bottom line, women expect men to bring the bread. They need to be bringing the butter, right? Butter that man up. So if there's anything you like,
say that again.
He's doing anything he has on, you need to be expressive, right? You need to be giving him your attention and not making up compliments. But again, if he does anything well, anything that you like, if anything about his outfit, his beard, his haircut, his frames, whatever he got going on that you like, that you can appreciate, you should express that. If you like the energy of the date, if you like the ambiance of the restaurant, you like the lighting, you've never been there before, be vocal, but ultimately, energy, attention, and put some butter on that bread, please.
Put that butter on
there. I love that example that you gave. Oh, go ahead. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying, I just said the butter and the bread again.
Oh, so I have an ebook that I've never released, and I really, if I remember, I'm going to release it. I'll post a link to it. But I was teaching women about those femininity things. And what's so crazy is, so when men used to say, what do you bring to the table? I would get so offended because I thought they were asking me to go half. That's the first thing that women think of. Oh, you only go half. The things that men want are so small. And when you said that, it reminded me of the portion in the book. The smallest things, smiling, saying thank you. I remember going out with this guy and I'm like, my God, what Neanderthals were you dating? But we went on a date. It wasn't anything over the top. It was just a normal date. But he came and picked me up, which is rare. I don't normally let guys pick me up, but I was comfortable with him. We had spent enough time together. He came to pick me up. I'm like, thank you. We're in the car. I put my hand on his arm. I was just so feminine. And all I did was say thank you. And I think that I was conscious of the menu. I was like, ooh, I don't want to get that. It's a little pricey, whatever. He could not stop talking about that date. Like, you would have thought I took him in the back and serviced him. I mean, I was like, all I said was thank you. He was so blown away. And I was just like dainty on his arm. I just he was a big, strong dude. And I just gave him so many compliments. And what's so sad to me is that, and that's just normal. That's me, because I love compliments and I like getting them. But whenever I date guys, they usually have a beginning phase where they feel like it's too good to be true. They're like, what's up? All right, what's what? Because they're so not used to getting compliments. And I will look for something to compliment you on. Like, Ron had his deep, sexy voice. I am going to verbalize because it feels good and it's free.
And what other space do men get that in? Right? So women are given spaces for all this stuff, right? Men, when they're with women, want to feel again. right? If you really like, they want permission to feel something.
Preach.
In the world, I can't really feel anything, right? I'm not feelings are not respected for men in the real world. Or you see what I'm saying? So where can I feel again becomes the issue. Now, here's the unfortunate. I gotta say this: the unfortunate byproduct of women leading with their masculine energy is they attract really feminine men. And so when I talk about that, so they become their mothers.
Yes.
And not their partners, and they can't respect that either. So you attract these men who want. They're like, okay, I'm cool with being in my feminine energy all the time. You take care of this, you take care of that. You take care of me. And I'm just telling you. And then they resent those men. It sounded good at first, right? Because you were in control, but then you began to resent it.
Yes.
So it's like this. God created us a certain way for a certain reason. This yin yang thing is a big deal. You know what I mean? So I just want to kind of, there's an unfortunate byproduct to living in masculine energy all of it. Now, I want to teach this because I want people not to get it wrong. Both men and women have feminine and masculine energy. Mm-hmm. It's just, when do you utilize it?
Yes.
Right? The same way that women want us to be in our feminine energy when it comes to connecting with them.
Yes.
We want you to be in your feminine energy when it comes to connecting with us.
But not when the robber breaks in. We don't want you to converse with him.
Please. Exactly. You don't want me in that then, right? So it's kind of like, how come you can expect that from us? You know how many women come to me and they say this right here? Well, he's just not affectionate enough. He didn't tell me how he feel. He doesn't this, that, and the third. Well, when we come around and we say, well, she's just not feminine enough. She don't make me feel good. She doesn't appreciate me. We're wrong, right? We're wrong for saying that. We don't respect her and her other things, but yet, we're supposed to do that. So anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I love women, so I don't want anybody to look at me saying like, oh, he's beating me down.
No,
I just want us to connect.
No, I live for soapboxes. The reason I have you guys on here is rants. I have people sometimes who get on and forget that they're on camera and they think they're watching on YouTube and they're just like this. So please, soapbox away. What were you gonna say, Ron? Oh, and someone's asking if you're single. They're asking for a friend.
All right, so I am
no, really,
single,
they want to know
but
if you're single.
So piggybacking off of what Troy said, what a lot of people need to understand, especially for my ladies out there, anytime you have a post, let's say Beyonce, you have a post, one of the reasons I'm here, because I'm gonna say what I feel, and I don't believe in pandering. So when you say, hey women, what do you wish guys would do more? And it has been, is, and always will be, consistency will always be the number one answer on all those posts. Mm-hmm. But this is what happened. So a guy like me takes you out. I take you out on 3 or 4 dates. I'm paying for everything. I don't have a problem with it. I understand what's happening. And then because you have not provided any other value or do whatever it is that you do, that's whatever it is. I don't care if it's cook, whatever it is, whatever you do. I'm not trying to put us in a row, but you have not given back to me the same energy and the same type of value that I'm giving you. Guys fall off. So you won't want guys fall off, and then you be like, what happened? I've had women hit me up or call me up after we've had really good times or whatever it is, and they're just like, hey, what happened? I thought we was having a good time. And this is after been 3, 4, 5 days, and we took them out, had a great time, did all of this stuff, and I'm like, well, you had a good time. I didn't. So you have to understand that it's not that we're looking for 50-50, it's just that we're looking for value. So I'll put this example out there. If I have a car lot, and so a lot of the women, because women are hypergamous in general, so they like guys on their level or above. So as a guy who might have options, if I have a car lot and I tell you, hey, you can get any car off of my car lot and they're all the same price. And I have Bentleys, Ferraris, I got Chevy Malibus, Ford Fiesta, and all that good stuff. Very rarely will somebody pick the worst option. So you need to ensure that you're providing the value of the guy that's giving you the value that you're enjoying. So that's just my little rant on that.
No, I appreciate that. And can you give a specific example of a woman giving you that energy? Because, we've really nailed home that concept as a concept. But the women are listening, you guys. The women are listening in the comments, and they're asking for specifics. So drop a gem and let us know, like, what could those women have done to, give you that green light?
Well, for me, it's just doing it's doing something. Just like I have to come to you and I have to come up with a plan. Like I say, let's go out, let's go here. I got to take the lead and stuff like that. So I've had where a lady had said, hey, I know we've been doing this, but let me do something for you. And we went through Axis. It was cheap. It wasn't anything. It was just, hey, I was just wanting to go and do something for you. Oh, hey, I want to take you. I know you're into ballet or whatever it is. Because there's a Dallas Black dance theater here in Dallas that I enjoy. And they're like, hey, I found some cheap tickets. Let's go and have a good time. You have to do something. You just can't say.
The initiative.
Yeah, you just can't say, hey, give me. Ooh, I like this. So what I find out is when women date a lot of times, they're waiting for the guy to prove themselves to them. And then they figure out, hey, once he proves himself, then I will pitch in.
That was
and
me.
By that time, the dude is like, I'm over her. Let me move on. He becomes inconsistent.
That is huge. That is so huge what you just said, because that was me. I literally had a 2-week rule. And a lot of people talk about this. There's like a 2-week rule because the women are taught, you play hard to get, because if you come out the gate just guns blazing, you're going to scare the guy off because you're going to look like this desperate old maid. So they wait, and these good guys are not getting any of these signals. So they're like, well, this other one seems more interested in this one, so I'm going to let this one go, even though he might actually like this one more. But she's giving the signals. So women, what you have to understand is, no, you don't have to be the one asking for his number. No, you don't have to be the one to walk across the room and ask him out. But do the permission signals. Do the affirmations, affirm him, reassure him. And 1000%, if you had a good time, don't even wait, and make a joke about it. Be flirtatious. Be like, at the risk of looking thirsty, I just wanted you to know, like, I can't stop thinking about you. Or whatever it is, let him know. And then what Ron said, after that first date, maybe do something small. So it might not even be that you take him on a whole date, but it could be, let's say he's taking you to go horseback riding or whatever. You might buy him a hat and say, you know what, you got that bald head. I want to make sure it doesn't get burned with the sun. You see how he giggled? Like you
see that, right? You see that?
You have to find a way.
Girl, you're not gonna make it. You keep it up. You're not gonna make it. Come on.
And look, don't bring a little handkerchief and then rub that little head. And
hey.
And then you get let me give you some game, okay? If you put it on his head, you're gonna get real close so you can see your lips, right? And you're gonna put it on. You knew how to put that on his head, but you gonna get in there and adjust it. Let him feel your breath on his face, and then let me fix it.
And I'm tall, so I'm gonna look down at you with some primordial type energy.
Look. And so and there goes your your comments. Oh my God, you're so tall. You could probably pick me up. Women. Come on, like I cannot be the only woman who understands the whole, flirtation thing. You really gotta get in there. This is what women a lot don't understand. They think sexual instead of feminine. There's a time and a place for sexual, but there's something about the mystery and what's behind door number 2 that drives a man crazy. And this is one of my rules. I'm giving me all the stuff from my little ebook. But I call it the rule of 3, okay? Do I dare show this? Okay. So here's the rule of 3. You have an outfit, okay? I got a dress on right here, okay? Now, you have 3 things that make a woman's outfit sexy. You have cleavage, you have legs, and you have curves. So the difference between a lady who looks classy and feminine and beautiful and a woman who looks sexy, shall we say. I just think you can be sexy too. There's a sexy with a mystery, I'll just say. Sexy with a mystery and sexy not. If you do 3, it's like putting too much wattage in the bulb, you're going to blow the fuse. So if I had cleavage and my skirt was to here, that's too much. My skirt goes below my knees. I've got a little bit of the girls out, not too much, but it is hugging my curves. These are some dangerous curves. Okay? Another thing I could do, let's say I wanted to show off my legs. I got some bad mamma jamma legs. I'm going to wear a mini skirt. I might even have a form-fitting dress, but I'm going to have a crew neck, okay? A cute little crew neck or a boat neck top, or even one that's a little loose, but you're not going to show cleavage. He's just going to gaga goo goo over the curves. That's enough right there, okay? So you do a combination, one or the other. Or you can have a really blousy dress, like a cute little sundress, because we know the men love sundresses. You could have a plunging neckline and even maybe have a slit. But you can get away with it because you have the big blousy dress. These are the old time tricks that the old time women used to tell the ladies. You got women out here looking like ladies of the night, wondering why sex is the only thing on his brain, because he can't focus, he can't function. Are you looking like Madam Streetwalker? Okay, you can be sexy, you don't have to look like a nun. Okay, they are really, really, really wanting you to chime in, ma'am. So I don't put a gun to anybody's head. Whatever people want to contribute. Yeah. So she was.
So one thing I wanted to share in regards to female and masculine energy, helping like our audience understand the difference. When it comes to feminine energy, it's more soft, it's gentle, it's passion. It's like soft words, it's flowing, like things of that nature. But masculine energy is more of like commanding, focus, dictator, analyzing. So allow your energy to lead you, and really tap into, see, what are you feeling? You feel hard, you feel rough, they gonna feel that too. And that's more so masculine energy. You feel soft, you feel slow, you feel flirty. They'll feel that. It's feminine energy. Different colors. My favorite color is red, pink. That attracts in a different energy than black, gray, dark, brown. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. Colors, your language, the way you feel, the words that you use. And another big thing when it comes down to masculine and feminine energy that we focus on a lot within our company is teaching on is loving communication, which is feminine energy as opposed to demanding masculine energy. And I feel like that causes a big hiccup in relationships. So just focus on using things of that nature too.
And I like that you said that about communication, because just like you said, Troy, a lot of women think it means to dumb down. It glitched. Sorry, I thought you finished. What did you say? Because you're frozen right now.
I'm still frozen?
Now you're back. Okay. There's a delay though.
Talking about like speaking in that feminine energy, like instead of coming at him harsh and hard, talk gentle, the same way you would with a child. It's more so that feminine nurturing energy. Let that lead you.
Okay.
And on top of that, let me piggyback off that right quick. We know as men, if you're out in that workplace, you need that masculine energy. You have to, masculine energy is to directly affect your environment. So you got to protect yourself. You have to make sure you're strong. You have to lead meetings. You have to work with employees, all of this stuff. We know you have to have that masculine energy. But the key with a lot of my women, my Black women, and in general, we need to learn how to cut that off once you come into the domicile or whatever it is. So look, we know you need it. We know you got to have it, and we understand why, because you're struggling out there just like we're struggling trying to make it. But when we come in, we have to be in our right frames. And if we don't in our right frames, that's when chaos happens. So yes, let's work on that.
I love that. When you were talking about the communication, I would say that really quick. The communication, it's not that the woman has to be dumbed down or not speak up. It's that she has to learn how. And so the timing is everything. Like, for example, if somebody is walking across the street or they're concentrating on something really important, that's not the time to yell, because you're going to break their attention and you could cause a fatality. So it's all about knowing when. So let's say your guy did something that is just not good, but you're in a group of people. It's the waiting until you're in the car and then the gentle hand on the arm. Baby, I know you said such and such, but you might not realize that XYZ happened yesterday, and so this might be a better move. Having that, even just your softer voice, it makes a man more susceptible to what you're telling, more open. What were you going to say, Troy?
All I was going to say is this, so a lot of women believe like that they'll say stuff to me like, well, if men would do this, then I would do that. Well, if he was, taking care of this and this, that, then I would do that. I'm like, no, it's got to be the essence of who you are. You see what I'm saying? Like, my masculinity shouldn't depend on what she does. You see what I'm saying? And just like your femininity shouldn't depend on if I do X, Y, Z. Maybe you should choose a different type of man. You see what I mean? But you can't choose a irresponsible, non-trusting, someone that doesn't make you feel secure and all those things, and then be like, well, I can't be a feminine woman because of this, that, and the third. Well, you got to make a better choice. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I shouldn't change who you are. And I think that's, there's so many like misperceptions about this. And I think women really look at it as a bad thing. And I'm like, no, we're telling you it's your superpower. So please stop running from it. Like my wife, let me tell you something. My wife is I am woman, hear me roar, right? When it comes to work or, you know, she's the biggest feminist in the world. But at home, like she's not like that at all. It's welcoming. It's very, it's receiving. It's very like she caters well. Like if she's a host to like the people that come to our home, and it's like the sexiest thing in the world. You see what I mean? It's very soft and it's subtle. You know, not that she doesn't have moments of masculinity, and that's okay. But I'm telling you, if you lead with it, that's what you know what you're gonna get. If you lead with masculinity, you're gonna get
a woman's softness makes me want to protect her with not only my life, but everybody else's life. So when a woman is in her feminine energy and she is soft and she is all that good stuff, that is that curl up on the couch and watch Netflix and I need you right here in this pocket right here. I got you. Don't worry about it. And let me rub on you. And like Yancey said, let me play in your hair because a lot of women don't understand that's one of their erogenous zones. And so let me do all these things to protect you. And women want to feel responsibly small. They want to know that the guy that they're dealing with got them and they got that. In other words, if anybody comes in this domicile, I'll rip their damn head off. So that's what it's about. And so that feminine energy, once again, I said it before, a feminine woman can get damn near anything from me.
And
please smell good. This
is the irony. I went on this rant today on IG, and not to make this spiritual, but we all agree we're spirits having a human experience. And you know, people agree and they'll nod, yeah, you know, that phrase, but then kind of forget there's stuff happening in the spirit realm. And I call it messaging. There's messaging, especially from the 60s on, that has been telling lies. And the thing is that if you keep listening to the messaging and you don't think for yourself or talk to your client, the client is the person that you're trying to sell to. So as a woman, your client is the man. Listen to your client, your potential client. Listen to your target audience. And the messaging is totally going against what men want. The messaging is be masculine, be powerful in this way. You know, you don't need a man. And we have to unprogram all these messages, because if people were born in the 90s and 80s, they have been programmed from birth, these messages. And when somebody tries to give you game and say be feminine, oh, you instantly think of be a bimbo, don't speak your mind, play dumb. And this is why I wanted to do this video, because there's a lie. There's so many lies that are being told. But the thing is, you're the one losing, because you're the one who's not getting the Troy type. Troy is happy in his marriage because they have not listened to those lies that the messages are saying in our society. And so this is the game right here.
And here's the thing. You know what it comes off, and I bet you a lot of women online can agree with this. They'll say, black men just can't handle a strong woman. Or they'll say, well, y'all are just intimidated by us. Those are the two go-to phrases, right? That. And it's like, no, I just want to deal with your shit. Like, that's what it really comes down to. Like, it's not that I'm intimidated by you. It's not that I can't handle a strong woman. It's just that I don't want to every day deal with that when I can deal with this. Yeah. That's the end of the day.
You do not handle women. You handle luggage and animals. Ooh. So when I hear a woman tell me I need a man that can handle me, I already know she's going to be X'd out, because I only handle luggage. And so I got other things to do besides handle somebody.
Wow. Now, you guys, I'm going to do a little moment. If you guys could do me a favor, okay? And go ahead and like this video. The reason why I say that, it's not because I just want to get my collar popped. YouTube literally goes off of what the viewers do, and this will help you with your favorite content creators on any platform. The more you engage with the content, the more YouTube says, oh, this is good stuff, because it's a computer. You know, YouTube is not a person. So the computer goes, oh, this is good stuff. Let's push it to more people. So a lot of times when something is really, really good, I watch it like this on YouTube. And so when the people remind me to like it, I'm like, oh, that's right, I'm gonna like it. So like the video, subscribe if you guys like this content, because you'll get more and more of this, because what it does is it pushes it out into the YouTube stratosphere, and more people will get it suggested to them. And I'm telling you, I want people to learn this. Our generation, people in their 30s and 40s, they are hitting this turning point. They've seen what happened with their parents who grew up with that 60s and 70s messaging, and they're going, something's not working. We're ready to turn this around. And so there's 30 plus of us right now watching live. Imagine if it was exponential. Imagine if 100 people heard this message, and then those people told 2 people, even if they didn't all watch the video, but they had the message in their spirit and they could talk to other people. There are so many women who are hurting right now because they want a man, especially black women. They want a sexy black man, and there are so many sexy black men out there, but there's this disconnect. So please just take a moment, like this video, like I said, subscribe if you really want to send the algorithms through the roof, but do that because it helps. And then if you comment, that's even more. When I see your comments, as you guys don't know, I'm looking and looking and looking constantly at the comments, because it's letting me know what you guys like, what you don't like. And again, the more comments, the more YouTube says this is good stuff. So one of the comments I've gotten a couple times from the women is they want to get it out of the horse's mouth. So we're talking about what men want. And so it's bugging them that I'm a woman and I'm saying what men want. So I want to know if you guys have disagreed with anything I've said so far, which is fine, or if you agree with what I've said so far. One of the things specifically they said is about my comments about women dressing. So, you know, let me know what you guys think. Are you co-signing? Do you want to correct anything? Because the women want to make sure they're not just getting information from women.
No, I will. What I will do, since I'm, I guess, the single guy here, I will co-sign what you're saying. It's your femininity, your feminine energy, your accommodation, your compassion. It is those things that I don't have that attracts me to a woman. So you are the yin to my yang. So I need, what attracts me to stuff that I'm lacking. So, I love that. And that's what, so whatever it is, give me that. And once again, like I say, it might not work out for other reasons, but it won't be because we're not fit on make each other whole. You know what I'm saying?
I like when you said about give me what I'm lacking, because if I put myself in the woman's shoes, right, I don't need, it so turns me off when I meet a guy who's in his feminine house and he's so into his looks, because the women are usually the flower that gets praised. When a guy is so into his looks and he's always primping and he's in the mirror and he's so into his outfits, it turns me off, because that's my job. You know, for me, it's like, that's my role. Let me be the cute one. You don't need to be in that space. Like, you're attractive on your own, but you don't need to be primping and, you know, doing all these things. And so what you said, I think, will help women in that if a man can already do it himself, it is not an attraction. And if we think about it from a magnet, it's not good or bad. Get out of your feelings, women, in case you're about to go in your feelings. It's literally about magnetism. I want someone big and strong and brave, because I am not big and strong and brave. I'm hella scary, if I can say how the kids say it. I want big and strong and brave so that I can be in my feminine. And I told guys this, I love having a boyfriend, because when I am out and about, I always have to have my head in a swivel. I'm always in mom mode. I always have to look out for myself. When I'm on a date with a guy or I'm with my boyfriend, I, in that moment, can relax. Yes. I don't have to look to see where we park the car. I don't have to look to see where the exits are in the building. It's like I just relax and I can get lost in the moment. And I love that about you guys, that you can just encapsulate us and let us just be in our little, might I even say ditzy moment. Like, you could just be so in the moment like a little kid. The kid doesn't worry about where you park the car. They just run into the aisles like, I want to get chips. And I want to be in that space. I don't want to be thinking and pondering and planning and strategizing.
I want to piggyback off that as well. Like what Ron was sharing about that attraction, like he wants something that he can't do. So like I'm big on dresses. Like that's all I wear. It's very rare for you to catch me like in a pair of pants. Even with me being in 30-degree weather in Chicago, I still rock my dresses. But it also allows me to embody that feminine energy. Not only do I know that it's more attractive, like, you know, to a man, but dressing in a manner that he can't dress in, it, you know, easily capture his attention.
Oh.
But it also let me feel it. Like I'm not sitting here with my legs open, you know, like my legs are closed. I'm sitting up straight because I do have a dress on. So it's like different little subtle things like that make a world of difference.
I agree. What do you guys have to say about the 3 point?
Yeah,
The 3 rules.
that's what I
of
want. That's what
clothing?
I wanted to get to.
Okay.
Was like what you said was so spot on, and I'm gonna tell you why. I remember like going out in the clubs and stuff when I was younger, right? And I was never attracted to the woman that had it all hanging out. It was the one that had the mystery. It was like, because now I have to view this woman. I got to think, okay, what if she was on my arm, right? I want guys to look at her, but I don't want them to disrespect her.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I want guys to be like, dang, he got that one. Like, I mean, it's an ego thing. Don't get me wrong. It is what it is. We got egos.
Yeah.
But it's like I want you to look, but not lusting over her. Like, oh man, you know, she's gone too. Like, I love what you said. Now, here's the kicker though. A woman has to feel good about herself to be comfortable with that. And that is the other thing. Like, we don't want to talk about that. We've been taught, and women have been taught this. It's just, you should just accept me as I am, right?
You get into my next point.
But do you feel good about yourself? And if you don't feel good about yourself, I can't even make you feel good about yourself. So do you look physically attractive? Do you do the things that make you feel physically attractive? I know one thing, when my dad bod is bigger, I wear different clothes.
Facts.
Right? When it's smaller, I wear more fitting suits. Right? So it's a different vibe. So do you feel good about yourself so that you can dress it that way?
I am so glad. I'm telling y'all, we in one accord because y'all are in my notes and you are organically hitting them. This is what I'm glad I'm not in the room because shoes would probably be thrown at my head. I can say this because I'm a female. I'm a woman, okay? Mm-hmm. I need us to start getting real about how we look. Mm-hmm. Anytime, look, Rama. Anytime you ask a woman about a man's physique, we have all these opinions. But my God, don't let a man have an opinion. And we've already said this. Men are more visual. You see a lot more women with frumpy dudes, the dad bods or whatever. But here's the thing. Even if you take away the fact that men are more visual, and let's say we're completely equal when it comes to visual, you know what you like as a woman. You know what you like to see. The guys that make you, look 2 and 3 times are the ones that have their little abs together. Maybe they don't even have the abs, but they just have a nice flat stomach. You want a guy who's not frumpy. And this is a thing that just irks me. You have the life that you want to live, and then you have the real life that you actually live in, the real world that you really live in. Women, you know what you did to catch his attention. You know you put that uncomfortable outfit on. You put those uncomfortable heels. You did, I would say makeup, because that's a whole other thing. Men are not into caked on makeup. They want you to just accentuate, but not look like a completely different person when you take it off. You look a little different. Okay, you look, you're ready to go out. Cool, that's cute. But not a beat, as they say, where you don't know if it's a drag queen. Because drag queens look the same as women who wear a lot of makeup. And you literally look like a drag queen when you have that much makeup. So they don't even know what they're getting, first of all, but that's for another video. Anyway, you have to realize that men cannot willpower everything. If you had a cute little shape, you might not have been a supermodel look. But if you start gaining 20, 30, 50 pounds, but what if I had kids? Yes, we understand your body changes when you have kids. But again, you live in the real world. A lot of times, the weight that is gained, and if we're talking about universal, not the outliers, okay? Not the person who had a rare condition and they can't lose the weight. But a lot of times our weight is gained because we're not moving enough and we're eating too much, or we're eating the wrong thing, or a combination, God forbid, of those three. So Black women especially, we struggle with being overweight. And there's a little bit of a problem because Black men love a thick woman. And so a lot of people will take that as, oh, I could just gain however much I want because black men like curves. There is a difference between being overweight and having curves. And like I said, men are really quiet because I don't know if they want to get canceled.
We don't want no smoke.
Right.
I get in there. This is the key. We have to do the things that our partner. We're in this culture for some reason where we're in this be you sis, they'll adjust mentality. And what's happening is they're not adjusting. They're just leaving you alone. And so I, as a man, know that women love strength, protection, provision, all those good things. So I go to the gym because I don't want a woman who deals with me to introduce me like, hey, this is my boyfriend Ron. He has a great personality and stuff. I want my woman to lust after me just like I lust after her.
Yeah.
I want to be able to communicate with her. So if I don't have the communication skills, then I need to talk to somebody, take an improv class, do what I need to do to ensure that I can give her what she wants.
Up.
What we're doing in this society is we're trying to sell people. If you have a business, you try to sell the customer what they want. But what we're doing is we have these attributes and we're just trying to sell our attributes to people and they're trying to buy different things. So it's okay to get some skills, get some things that can help you sell to your demographic that you're looking for. So we're so caught up in not change. I'm not doing this. If they don't like it, they can leave. And people, in the words of Kevin Samuels, go die alone. And that's just what it is. So I want us to understand, hey, if I know women like a guy that has a little girth on him or whatever to feel protected, I can go to the gym. I can do this type of stuff. It doesn't change the core of who I am, what I believe in, and all the idiosyncrasies that make me me. So we need to get past this silliness that we have and where we don't want to do anything.
And most of those things we can control, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
And
We can control those things.
What you said though, this is where every time, if you take the hypocrisy measure, every time you start feeling sorry for yourself and saying, well, that's not fair and he should accept me for who I am, you are not doing that with the guy. You are not giving him a pass because he doesn't have a job because, well, that's just who he is. No, this is the real world. And like you said about lifting weights, that is grueling. Muscle building is a very difficult thing, and having to eat right to not get fat, but also to build your muscle, it's a lot. And so we as women, yes, we swoon over the big muscles. So you guys do that. Most of the guys pick their careers because they want to make the money that's going to get the chicks. It's not because they just really like this profession. If a guy could just do an easy job and clock in and clock out after those little cute little 8 hours and get chicks, he'd probably do that. Most guys don't want the stressful jobs, and the jobs that pay a lot are the ones that are stressful. That's why they pay a lot. So we have to get out of this princess syndrome and this entitlement that is just wham, wham, wham. I can be 300 pounds, have nothing feminine about me. I'm in my masculine energy. I act like this on a date. I don't give back. And these guys should be kissing my, you know what? No, this is the real world, honey. This is.
And they're shallow if we don't do it. Right? It's like something's wrong with us. If we, the minute we stand up and say that, it's like you get attacked, right? And men don't speak because of the attack, right? And so I think Ron's right on point. He's like, look, we've gotten to the point now where we're going to speak. If you choose to listen, that's on you. If you don't, then you're going to get the same results that you have been getting. And to me, we don't get better that way by us fighting. We get better by listening to each other. Can we listen to what each other wants? And if we can do that, we can get better. Like, for example, my wife and I, we have a rule, right? If I'm getting to the point where I'm becoming dad bod unattractive, she's supposed to call me on that, right? Same thing with her. Like, if she gets to the point where it's like, get a little borderline, then she's perfectly okay without me hurting her feelings and saying that we set the ground rules on that. You see what I'm saying? And so I think that we should be able to hold each other accountable.
And here's the thing, and I'm going to close out on this because I know some of you guys have to go. We had some others who had appointments already had to leave. But I want to say this, and I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I normally have my little closing thoughts. I'm not going to do my little formal closing thoughts. I'm going to say it now. Somebody made a comment in the comment section talking about the discipline, okay, self-discipline. And thank you guys for doing the likes. If you guys, the rest of you could hit the like button, that'd be great. But I saw the likes go up. Thank you. Self-discipline is everything. And you guys who are new to this, maybe you guys were invited and you don't know about my channel. But my channel is about teaching people how to become whole and healed so that when they come together with another whole and healed person, they can have a better and more fulfilling relationship. Well, the root of usually people not being healed is usually a lack of discipline. And I say this until I'm blue in the, I'll say this until I'm blue in the face. Everything starts in the mind. There's so much work that starts in the mind. And you were even talking about, Charelle, you were talking about the orgasm. That starts in your mind. So many things in our life have the foundation of being out of control. It's a lack of discipline, rather. So if you look at any area in your life where you are out of control, I guarantee you, if we dig to the bottom of the pool, it's lack of self-control, or lack of discipline. If you don't have the job that you want, lack of discipline. You don't have the body that you want, lack of discipline. You don't have the financial situation that you want, lack of discipline. You don't have the type of relationships that you want, it's lack of discipline. When you are able to control yourself, you then start to control the world around you. You guys, this is some deep, deep, deep stuff. And I have been on this journey and I have been learning about this. And I opened up something called the Sunshine Club. And the Sunshine Club is for people who are ready to turn their life around. They're not happy with something, whether it's their relationships, their bodies, their finances, their career. They don't feel like they're on their purpose. And I'm showing people what I can't show you in my videos. I can only give you 7 to 12 minutes in my videos. But I go day by day by day, and I walk people through the steps of reprogramming your mind. The Bible talks about renewing your mind. And so losing weight, it's stop putting crap in your mouth and move your butt. That's not hard. It's the discipline that makes it difficult. When I have the decision to make, do I have that discipline? And so I'm teaching people how to build that discipline, because we talk about it, but not everybody knows the how. So if anyone wants to be part of the Sunshine Club, you can click the link in the bio. You can send me a message, direct message on Instagram. I have a link there in Instagram as well. But you guys, it will change your life if you start to discipline your mind. If you listen to any millionaire, any guru, any abundance coach, they're going to talk about the importance of being in control of your mind. So before we wrap, you guys, is there anything that you want to share with the audience while you have them right here and have their attention? You guys are good?
No, I'll share something.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is, first of all, thank you for having me. This has been a great conversation. Like, we don't get these opportunities that often as men. And so thank you for allowing a space where we can be heard and not be interrupted. You see what I mean? So I really appreciate that. And for a woman to do it is very, it's different. You see what I mean? And I appreciate that, because I think we all need, the goal is always simple. So my goal on my platform is better people, better mates, better relationships, better communities. We can't get to better communities until we have better partnerships with each other. And that comes with the listening. So the last thing I would say is, I would encourage people to go get the book. Y'all see it, Teach Me How to Love, Why What You Don't Know Will Hurt You. The key word is will. This stuff, if you don't know it, it will hurt you. And just go read the reviews if you have questions about it. Go read the reviews on it and let the people tell you what they think about it. It's on Amazon.
I'm going to put a link. If you DM me your link, I can adjust the caption. So you guys come back in a few minutes. I'll have the description there. And I also have, and this is why it's important to follow me on Instagram. Again, it's not because I want to pop my collar. It's just practical. I can give you guys information quickly on Instagram. So if you follow me there, you can see his information. You can see the way to get a hold of him, and you can get all the links to all the good stuff. So that's important. And why don't you talk really quickly about your workbook that you have available, Charelle, if anyone wants to get more
Yes. So first of all, thank you for having me. I think this was an amazing conversation. I'm so happy I got to contribute with it. And I love your energy. Like, we talk about energy, like all of us here. Like, I love all of you guys' energy. I just felt like it flows. It was like divinely ordained. So I love it.
Yay.
But also, you know, to the audience, the clients, like you can reach out to me on social media if you are interested in obtaining like the workbook, which is, which one is it? Manifesting, 5 secrets to manifesting like your orgasm. And just to go back to what you were initially sharing, you know, about the Sunshine Club and about it all being about your mental and your discipline. Like I wholeheartedly like encourage each and every one of you listening. If there is something that you desire in your life that you don't currently have, you're cheating yourself, because all of our desires is our future self letting us know what we're capable of.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? Because y'all be dropping gems, and I don't want someone to be like glancing somewhere or driving and miss that. Can you, because that just gave me the chills up and down my arms.
Your desires is your future self letting you know what you're capable of. If you desire it, like you can have it, and it's letting you know. That's just confirmation of you knowing that you can have it. And just to everyone listening, like whatever it is, you can be, do, and have whatever it is that you desire. It's just a matter of believing in that, letting that desire lead you, getting the help that you need. Don't let anything stop you. And that's all I want to leave.
Girl, that I got a little misty-eyed. That was so perfectly phrased. And you know what's so funny? When I was younger, like elementary school, and I wasn't someone who had visions like Raven or whatever her name is, but I just remember having this vision of me on a couch, and it was an interview happening. And I remember thinking at the time, like, that's weird. And I don't know why in my mind I thought it was prophetic, because I wasn't looking like, oh, it's prophetic. But just for whatever reason, it just stuck out to me, right, in my mind's eye. And I thought, well, I don't want to do anything in the arts. So what would I be getting interviewed for? What would I be on it? Because it was like a couch, like Oprah would talk or whatever. Do you know that it was years later I realized I wasn't the interviewee. That was my mind telling me I was going to be the interviewer. And this is my, like, when I tell you I have found my purpose, I love facilitating conversations. My platform used to be called Yancy, your hostess, because that's what I did on Facebook, because I love hosting conversations. And it's just so interesting that we all have a purpose. And, you know, like I said, I'm a believer. God designed us for a purpose. And I equate it to trying to ride your bike with the chain being off. You know how hard it is to ride? Until you find your purpose, yeah, you're getting through life. Yeah, you're riding that bike, but it's not a pleasurable journey. When you get that chain connected the right way on that gear, oh baby, it is smooth sailing, it is fun, and it is like, it just feels right. And so that's my passion. I want people to find their purpose. And when I talk to people like you, it's like, we haven't talked about this before. It's just the truth. Yeah. Whoever you talk to, we have the same experience. When you're on your purpose, it is like nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have the 2 other books. I'm going to show it because they're not here. We have Troy's book. I'm sorry, not Troy's book. We have Nyatu's book, and then Blair has 3. Again, I'm going to put all that after we wrap tonight. And you guys are all not in the West Coast. It's only 7:30 for me, so I appreciate you guys being on. Is it 9:30 for all 4 of you, or all 3 of you?
Yeah.
10:30 for me.
Oh, you're at East Coast. Woo!
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. I know it's a school night. And so anyway, I'm just going to give my closing thoughts. You guys, you're welcome to dip out. If you want to stick around, I'll speak to you as soon as I wrap up. But I'm going to do my official closeout. Okay, guys? And Ron, did you have anything you want to share? I don't want to...
No, I just want what I really want to tell everybody is this is not a war. We're not at war with each other. We're just trying to get together, and each party wants to feel value. At the end of the day, that's all it's about. I'll run through a brick wall for you. I'll go to war for you. I'll go to bat for you. I just want to feel valued at the end of the day, and that's it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. All right, guys, I'll be back in just a moment. You guys on YouTube, stick around. If you guys would like an opportunity to advertise your business, if you have a product or service, go ahead and DM me and put in the caption. Well, there's no caption on DMs, but start with the sentence live, Sunday Night Live, because I get a lot of messages that I don't open. So start out with Sunday Night Live, and if you have a product or service, we can have a conversation about that. The beautiful thing about YouTube videos is that they are evergreen. Unlike a radio spot or a television spot, it's aired when it's aired and then it's gone forever. This video could go viral and be seen by millions and millions of people. So it's an amazing investment for anybody who would like to sponsor an upcoming video. That's an opportunity that you could take advantage of. Let me get my little screen. I get so animated, I forget. Again, I want to thank my patrons. If you guys appreciate this content, you know, content creators do this out of the love of their hearts. If you would like to contribute and be a patron, you can go to patreon.com/Yancy, as you can see right here on the screen, and you can give love every single month. It's easy to do. If you guys want to, that's pretty self-explanatory right there. I already gave my tip of the week, but I want to say know yourself. Know thyself, as I put it, when we were talking about sex, when we were talking about, you know, I'm telling you guys, I haven't even turned to page 2 of my notes because this was so organic and good. But one of the things that we were going to talk about was traditional versus modern. And a lot of times people get into situations because they're in denial about what they really want. So know yourself, know your body, know what you want from a partner, know why you're having sex. Take the time to know yourself. Sometimes we just need to pump our brakes. And that's why my show is Chasing Yancy, because I'm searching for who I am and I want to know myself, because how can I present myself to somebody else in the world if I don't even know who I am? And so my final thought is the Sunshine Club. Like I said, if you want to get more intimate with me, I have a group for that. Every single Tuesday, we have conversations. Imagine these types of conversations. It's happening every Tuesday. It's in a private group, and we set goals for ourselves, and we help you go from, hey, I want to be like those people who seem like they have their life together, from I want this to being that person. It's that step by step. I will hold your hand along the way. So if you want information about that, like I said, you could scroll to the bottom of the description. There's a link there for that. You can also go to my my Instagram and see the link in my bio for the Sunshine Club. So that's all I have for you guys. I so appreciate your time. Thank you to everybody who liked this. Thank you for everyone who commented. And my God, bless you if you shared it. Share it on all your platforms. I want the truth to get out so more people could be set free. Until next time, you guys, tell someone that you love them.